Two folds. Three folds.
Good evening, viewers,
Four
and welcome
fold.
back. We return for the final table. All the action of the Maddocks Mindset main event. Final table here
See
at
5 folds.
the Campbelltown Catholic Club. Tom Bauer in the booth, and I'm joined by Jordan Bromley. Welcome back, Jordan.
How are we doing? Hope everybody had a good break. Stretched their legs once again. Certainly looks like we're going to have some splice and it's up to play soon.
8 folds.
Might have 10 million after the first hand. Zamet might have 10 million after the first hand.
C9. Re-raise 600,000.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah,
Folds.
the new chip leader,
7 folds.
Sean Zamet with 6 million in chips. Our commanding chip leader as we make our final table.
You were the one I
Sorry
was
about
saying
the
that to
echo
about
there
earlier.
before, guys. I was just having a little bit of tech issues on my part. We're going to be all good moving forward.
Actually,
I said that I just came out of the GFC bar, so I'm not doing too well.
Dale with 2.9 million, 2.6 mil, 19.3 million. Zari with 11 bigs at 930,000. Kristen with 11 bigs at 925. Jason Abash, our shortest stack, just 4 big lines, 385,000.
First dog.
Players looking to ladder, players a bit hamstrung by that
4 folds.
super short stack. It's going to be a fun final table, Jordan.
See 5 folds.
Certainly sounds like it.
6 folds.
Sean has got
7
all the
folds.
chips. He's definitely going to be the person to try and beat here. Over 6 mil is a crazy amount to have, and it looks like it might even be over 7 now. So everybody's going to have to try and deal with that. He definitely knows what he's going to have to be doing with all of those chips. He knows how to put them to good use.
Seat 8 raise 200,000.
Yeah, and whilst we have seen Sean Zamet on plenty of other feature table streams, we haven't seen any of him today. He's been making an absolute meal out of things over on the outlying tables.
Inevitable. Game over.
Eating chips ahoy.
It looks like he's got those oversized discs in front of him. Those ones, what are those ones going to be worth, Tom? It's been so long since I've seen them in play.
Big pieces on the table. Yeah.
I'll take second.
I'll ask again in like 4.5 hours.
500,000 of course are the big pieces. So oranges are 5k, blues are the 25k, pinks are the 100, and the big discs 500,000.
That was good.
First dog.
That was good.
It's going to be exciting seeing
played,
those
sir.
thrown
Well
around
played,
today.
C7.
As we see Jason now with pocket 9s. Very short, probably wondering whether or not this is his time. I think with 9s and 4 bigs, you're probably just going to have to take it.
4 goes all in.
Woo!
Looks like he's going to put them in the middle. He's not stoked about it, given everybody behind him. He's definitely going to get called in at least one spot.
It's about 385.
385,000.
And Dale is giving it some thought, wondering whether he's going to be the person to do it. Get through. King Jack suited, definitely a hand you can consider putting money in with. At least calling this jam. You know it's going to be doing pretty well against hands like 5s, 6s, 7s, and definitely a chance that Jason is going to find a jam with a hand like King 10 suited, maybe even Queen Jack suited and Jack 10 suited.
7 folds. 8 folds.
But he does have some of the chip leaders behind him to worry about, so he does decide on a fold.
2 folds.
And looks like it's going to fold all the way to the big blind. Many chips himself, and he's going to get the jam through.
3 folds.
Nobody wanted to look him up. As you see, we do have 6 players sub 20 big blinds, and part of the reason is that Sean Zamet has almost 100 in his stack. Makes it difficult for anybody else to have any chips when he's got all of them.
9s are nuts, I know. Nutted 9s. Thanks, Greg.
Absolute piles. Now we made our predictions when there were 18 players left. I was very heavily leaning towards the Chad, who we could see the tiger back of Chad, but decided that he just enjoys being in
What'd you have?
Sydney winning poker photos more than he actually likes
what I
being
didn't want
the
to say, that's
of them. And my pick has gone to Dale Patterson in seat 7.
Thank you.
Jordan, who was your pick early on this
First
evening?
dog.
My pick early on this evening was Chad. Wanted to see him find the result.
5
Number of players at this table that I would also love to see win as well, but I do have to stick with my original pick.
Oh, mate, I had the
Can't
best
be
bag.
bunny hopping around.
8 folds.
It's certainly a different dynamic once we reached our final 9. We may have jumped in a bit ambitiously early there, but both of our picks still very much alive. We shall hope the commentator's curse doesn't work their magic on either of them. These other 7 players are going to work as hard as possible to make it difficult for them.
Does look like Jason may be running into some trouble here. King Queen, and he has Jack 10, so he's definitely going to be in rough shape going to this flop, but he's going to try and see a flop. Hasn't quite run his biscuits yet. Still got 4 big blinds behind. And we see that is probably not going to be the case anymore. He does rip it in, and he's going to get snapped by King Queen. Definitely not a great flop that he wanted to be seeing. Does have any 10 or any jack to be able to stay alive here.
No more bets. Good luck.
But it is going to be a pretty tough task for him.
Yes. Fucking pull that in.
And he manages to find a jack on the river to stay alive. Just like that, finds a double all the way back up to 14 bigs.
345.
That's the great
Sean Sam
point.
clear chip leader with 7.1 million.
Right. They're
Folks,
great.
you'll find us live, of course, on Facebook, ABT Live Recording, and also
like
Twitch
it,
at twitch.tv
GG, boys.
/LCA Poker. It's
GG.
Tom Barker,
GG.
in the booth. Do let us know who you're cheering for.
I just put the table on tilt. I'll tell you
Made the right
what.
prediction.
Tables on tilt.
Shout out if you think your man is
345.
going to get the job done. Let us know.
Am I a small blonde as well?
Ask any questions. Jordan or myself, happy to answer those as we broadcast all the way down
Hello, boys. How are we?
Campbelltown Catholic Club.
All good, huh?
I'll see you, mate.
Cheers, champion. I like it.
Win some, you lose some, eh?
That's right.
Pause your blinds, please.
Now you can afford the small.
I could afford the big, mate. I defended. Jack 10 suited. I was happy to get it in.
Press on.
Got good, Sean. You gave me about 8 more outs.
6 all the outs in the world.
Open ender.
7 folds.
Open ender.
It's a stacked table. There is plenty of talent on this field.
Most definitely, and it does fold over to the chip leader. Doesn't open the 7-5 off. Tom though, 9 big blinds after that King Queen hand is going to have Ace-6 suited. He may decide to run this for sub 10. Definitely wouldn't fault it, but there are a couple of stacks that may be shorter than him.
2 folds.
Does decide to put it in. Zari 3-do, so not going to be doing anything. I think it will fold over to Chad, who won't be able to make a call with 8-6.
4 folds. Wait.
Tom is going to pick up 2.5 bigs for his troubles.
5 folds.
Taking himself back over the 10 big blind mark. You can see that Cesare is our short stack, but there are a number of players that aren't far behind. Only 5 bigs separating the bottom of the tables, with the fifth place player at the moment. Definitely a very swingy situation for all of these guys involved.
Jason, advice.
We see Princess doing a fantastic job dealing as always. Team of dealers at APT always do a phenomenal job.
Would have been brutal for you.
7, 8 folds.
Action is going to fold over to Sean now. Dale deciding against the King Queen O. Sean with Ace-7. Does have to be a little bit worried, given that there are quite a few rejamming stacks behind him. Doesn't want to put too many chips in and have to call off a jam.
160,000.
Doesn't phase him though. Is going to find it open to 160k. Tom now, 9 bigs still. Sorry, 11 bigs still. Queen Jack suited.
One fold.
Sides against it. Fold over to Amir as well, folding. Jason now, 6-4-0. Saw him play a hand with 6-3-0 before. Got him into quite a lot of hot water with Chad. Wonder whether or not it's going to be the case here again.
4 fold.
Doubt it. Does fold. Chad now with 10-5 suited.
5 fold.
See Anaha with the same hand. Deciding on whether or not to defend. Looks like he will.
Heads up.
Not many scenarios where it doesn't get chopped up at the end of this hand.
First up.
And there is no free rolls for anybody, so it's going to be perfectly 50-50 the whole way through for this one. Only person that could potentially win this pot would be Sean, if he finds a C-bet here, and it looks like that's what he's thinking. Looks like he is just going to bet 140k and get it through.
6 folds.
Chip leader is going to keep accumulating more chips.
Oh, they'll do something.
Definitely the man to beat here.
Fold.
You can see that brings
Already
Maddocks
made
down to
his
16
tonight.
big
You gotta
blinds
wait
as
for
well,
hands
only
now.
3 players. North, 20 big blinds.
Job's done, mate.
That's it, job's done.
Well in. Been good.
Phone blew up after that one too. Once they hit the screen, phone blew up.
Also have a rail for these guys, a bunch of
we're
people
on the
standing
back
around
as well,
wanting to
guys.
see who is going to take this down.
First up.
I understand a number of these guys are very social off the felt, a lot of them very good friends, so it's going to be a bit of a celebration regardless of who takes this one down.
We gotta watch our language on this thing. We fight away
See
like
Dale.
like it's common.
Sorry, not Dale. In the tank, deciding whether or not this is his time.
Seat 8 raise.
Looks like he's going to come in for an open.
9.
Go on, getting out of the way.
2 folds. 3 folds.
Opens to 200,000.
Playing just 11 big blinds behind. Jason now 10 bigs, king, queen.
How much do you get?
Could decide to make it a little bit more expensive here.
How much does he have?
I kinda-
What's up? 5, 7, 8, 9. You got me covered, huh?
Scanning out his stack. You can see that Chad won't be a problem. King 3 offsuit.
No problem.
800 behind and 200 in the
Fold.
Folds. 5 folds. 6 folds.
Fold over to the blinds. Looks like it'll get all the way through. Jack Deuce isn't going to be able to do much.
What is that background?
But as you can see, the APT starts to pack up the circus,
First up.
moving back up to Southport for the next series
9 fold. 1 folds.
on the Gold
2
Coast.
folds.
Flight
3
1
folds.
of the Vault tournament will be held, of course, that Vault tournament entry being granted to the winner of this main event as well.
4 folds.
As we've got Sailendra in the Facebook chat saying, Dale is Aussie Virat Kohli. Whole of India wants their hero to win. Let's get that hook shot right, son. There you go, Dale. You've got a whole country behind you. You've got millions and millions of people wanting you to find the win. No pressure.
It's not bad.
There's
See,
billions of
6
people.
raise. 200,000.
Collective
7 folds.
wishes and prayers. It's not
See,
bad though.
Maddocks here
Virat
with
Kohli, you're
kings
happy
and
with that.
Kristen with aces. Oh my god, this is not a fun spot to find on a final table. Maddocks thinks that he has the world and he's just run into the
8 folds.
universe. And Kristen's gonna find a flat. This is a great flat pre-flop. Wow, definitely done some study here.
Heads up.
Knows that he wants to try and keep as many hands as possible in, keep the traps in.
7 folds. And
How happy is Abash right now?
Oh my god, a king high flop. That is insane.
Oh my god.
We're playing traps pre-flop, and now it could lead to traps on the flop. Maddocks flopping top set. Kristen doesn't have a club in his hand. Doesn't have any
He's a
backup. He literally just has 2 outs. He wants to try and win this one.
Super disguised.
Doesn't get much more disguised than this.
that's 450.
Oh, Maddocks bets huge.
Manar decides to take off the disguise and just wave it around.
That is a ridiculously big bet. That's way too big of a bet. Kristen has aces, so it will work out in this scenario. I don't really see any scenarios that he folds it, but that's literally like even a hand like ace-8, even a hand like king-queen may just want to fold to this bet. It's such a crazy amount. Kristen still looks comfortable though. Thinks his aces are definitely just the best hand. He does announce the jam, and he's going to get snapped off and see the bad news.
Not expecting the snap call. You can see the sigh, and when the cards get tabled, unbelievable.
That is disgusting.
Kings is 6.
Literally only got 2 outs, but we will have our first final table elimination in absolutely brutal fashion.
No more bets. Good luck.
Doesn't get much more sick than that. 7 on the turn doesn't change anything, and a 6 river, and we will see Kristen, our first final table bust out, heading to the payout desk, collecting $5,000 for his trouble. An absolutely sick way to go. Aces v Kings
on the losing end with a super short player on the table.
Second time his aces got through.
That
No, but the
is
first time was the
brutal.
He was lucky.
That is brutal.
But his aces were correct. But then he was playing the board.
That's exactly why we all love tournament poker.
I don't know if that's why we love it, but it's
Unlucky with your aces.
Well,
Must be
we
pretty-
love being on the receiving end.
must be pretty sick in the head if we think that's the reason
never
we enjoy
seen
it. That's
anyone
disgusting.
So quickly. Yeah, that's why I said he is king.
I wonder if
He
Maddocks,
was sorry, I didn't mean
who
to do that.
refuses to add jacks to his range, may
Thanks for making us
be
keep
in
going.
range now.
I don't think so. I mean, he almost didn't play kings. Come on.
Yeah,
Lucky he did though.
I mean pre-flop. Surprised he managed to get in there.
So we got Tegan Cooper, not a fan of that either, typing ouch in the chat. Definitely a brutal one to see if you're just tuning in, guys. And if you are just tuning in to see the stream, these guys are on the final table of the Australian Poker Tour Maddocks Mindset main event. $600 entry. There was 637 entries, and there's going to be $68,000 for the winner, along with a ticket to the $1,250 Vault tournament, which is a tournament that's going to have multiple flights across multiple series, which will lead to $150,000 guaranteed for first place, along with that coveted Tournament of Champions entry. A couple of the other payouts that these players will be thinking about. Second place is going to take home $47,000, and third is going to take $32,000. So still quite a lot to play for,
But I'm going to this leader.
and Manaha is in a much better position to potentially run very deep in this tournament.
So as we just moving these players a bit around for some better camera angles, everyone's going to take a seat to the left. Go back and do this. Play the eventual winner, but that's those payouts you were talking about. Jordan, of course. Corey is furiously hot. My gosh. It's been too long, Mr. Bromley. We have thoroughly enjoyed your tone. Now, folks, if you have enjoyed Jordan Bromley back in the booth, let's have a hashtag bring back Bromley. I would love to hear you cheering for him in both Facebook and Twitch. How good is it?
The bottom stays after. Next time.
You got me blushing. I'm sitting at home blushing, and there's nobody else around.
Hashtag
Man.
blushing Bromley. It's all happening. That's what they're playing for, folks. That's the chip distribution. Who is going to take this one down?
It's such a connected board, like you can't just call and...
Shout out to Judy Caterer in the Twitch chat. Beat you to it. Sorry about that. Saying good luck to all the players. Thanks for tuning in. Also want to shout out Timo in the Facebook chat. Kings is not King 7-0. It's really quite different. We saw Manaha getting about it with the offsuit Kings earlier, and he looks like he just wanted to have offsuit Kings that were the same, and used it to his advantage. So. Huge development for him there. Well on the way to try and catch Sean, but he's still got a long way to go to catch up to him.
So dead small, guys.
Looks like the cards are back in the air.
One fold.
Looks like Sean is going to
Two
be the
folds.
big blind all by himself for this
Four
one.
fold.
Fold all the way over to Jason. Ace 9-0.
8-5 raise. 175.
He's going to try and find an open here off 12 bigs. into the chip leader. This is a bit scary.
6 folds.
Manaha not going to play the 7-6-0. I don't think Dale will play Doyle either. Sean, though, definitely don't think he's going to shy away from defending the King 3 suited. Definitely a suited hand like this is worthwhile defending. Looks like he is going to put in the call.
Pausing to highlight the playing Doyle.
5,000 more, please. Thank you. Heads up.
All right, let's see a flop here.
First out. 9 checks.
It's been checked over to Jason.
5 all in, 9 folds.
Does just jam this flop and gets it through. Fold out of the chip leader.
Alright, dead button, small blind, big blind. 5 goes all in and 9 folds.
Flush draw on a dream, boys.
3 flops, seat 5, raise to 1.
Flush draw and a dream.
Carry on here,
9
guys.
folds.
Let us know in the Twitch and Facebook chats who you guys think is going to be taking out this tournament. I understand there is a front runner. However, we've all got a couple of people we'd love to see win it. Let us know what you think. We are watching on the chats on Twitch, on Facebook, on YouTube. We're checking in everywhere, so
Yeah.
let us know what you guys are thinking.
Jack, 7.
And once again, I just want to thank you all for tuning in this week. I know we've had a number of very long streams, and you guys have been keeping us entertained, helping us through them. We've watched some incredible poker being played here as well at this Australian Poker Tour in Campbelltown. Make sure you guys get your calendars out. I'm going to tell you some really important dates now. The Australian Poker Tour is heading back to the Gold Coast. Going to be there at Southport Sharks from the 20th to 28th of May. And at that tournament series, we're having the first flight of the Vault event. So make sure you book that leave in your work schedule. Make sure you're available to go and play. It's going to be another fantastic series, as it always is down at Southport Sharks. As we check back in with the action, it's going to fold over to Chad with Jack Deuce O. Not going to find an open with it. Manaha with one of the best hands ever created. 5-3 suited also in the bin.
Got 750.
Sean now with the chip lead. Checking the tournament clock. Wants to double check to see how many chips Tom has. Only 9 bigs.
Seat 9 all in.
Does just jam. Uses those betting discs to his power. Those oversized 500k chips don't come out very often, but when they do, it's a special occasion.
Twos. I don't think Tom is going to be particularly pleased
Not made a break.
about his holding. It's nice to have a pocket pair, but he has the very worst one.
And Sean is going to keep adding onto this chip stack. 7.3 million now. Definitely in a very commanding spot. Almost 3 times as many chips as the next closest player. Not too stressed at all.
John J. Allen joins us in Facebook, loving the commentary, gents. Hopefully more to come in future events. Makes a difference to the viewers. Always our pleasure to be talking to you.
First out.
Dean thinking that Jason's going to take this one down.
4 fold.
Definitely going to need to find a few double ups from here to be able to win this one. See him here with ace-4 finding a fold.
5
Chad
and
as
6.
well, out of the way.
7 fold.
Manaha deciding against an offsuit king. Surprised he can fold those. Dale now, ace-9 off.
Seat 8 raise.
Pretty comfortable, 34 big blinds. He's going to find an
9
open.
folds.
Tom now, 9 bigs still. Didn't take deuces last hand. I don't know whether or not he's going to take queen jack off either. I think this one will just be pushed towards the muck relatively soon.
One calls.
No, it's decided, no, these ones are good enough.
Gonna find a defend. Interesting defend here. Putting in quite a lot of his stack here from the small blind.
First out.
This should either be a rip or a nothing.
Connect with the flop either, just queen high, and Dale recognises that, does just put him in a pile of the pink chips. Gets the job done.
One fold.
Adds up to his chip stack to 3 million.
Not this hand, yeah?
Couldn't have been an offsuit king. The card reader needs to be checked. This is a very good point, Timo.
bet
Tom,
you
you
were.
keep getting called out for
I
your
don't have much
technology.
heat.
You need to double check all this stuff.
I was calling if he shouts. I'm calling if you shout and then he shouts as well. That's what I'm doing. Just by using that in there.
Ace X is good.
So we see we're 8-handed here. Most exciting final table.
Yeah,
The entirety of the
clearly
series.
that's the only explanation. We shall do some caliber.
First out.
I asked a
Five
few
balls.
players on the break to just mark off their whatever sticks. So very much randomised would be
Six
one way of
folds.
describing some of the opens.
7 folds.
Dale now with deuces. Not sure whether or not he's going to decide to open these. Does have the chip leader on his left who can put pressure on him, and he decides against it. I like the fold. He definitely hasn't got the most favourable seat draw. Sean can pretty much put him in a rough spot whenever he wants to. Sean looks like he's going to find an open here with the king
Nine
jack
goes
though.
all in.
No, he just jams.
One fold.
Recognises that all of these guys are shorter than
2
him.
all in.
Wants to put him to the test.
And
Cesare
four.
with ace queen can't
Show cards.
fold. So we're going to be off to a flop here. It's like green eggs and ham. One of these hands has a slight statistical advantage. Cesare is in a really good spot to potentially find a double up here.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
Hunter, Jason Habash for the win.
As we
Ace Queen
see,
drills the flop.
top two, fading only a 10 on the river.
There are 4 10s available, but there is not one to be found.
Finds a full double.
5, 7. Correct.
Bakey with some keen observation. Your amount of tells Mr. Commentator, who started the trend or training of sitting with your hands down by your side rather than on the table. Much like Sean has been doing and many others who make final tables. So always fun to observe the table comfortability position. Jordan, you are a keen model of the hand on heart. One across your chest. But I think most of the comfortability and body language posturing from these players are more about comfortability and practicality
6
more than
folds.
the actual physicality of their tell.
Yeah, it was something that actually
7
started popping up in prevalence in some of the super high roller tournaments that were getting streamed at the likes of Triton and EPT, and even earlier than that. Players realized that people were getting so kind of attuned to be able to picking up really subtle pieces of information that they started basically sitting as still as possible. A period of time when Daniel Negreanu was playing some of the super high rollerball tournaments, and he would sit there, hands by his side, using one finger to check the table, giving off as little information as possible. We'll see Sean opening the Queen 3-0. Very wide, but still going for it. Tom now gets through. Over to Amir with ace 10, puts a call. Jason with king 7-0 may elect to find a peel as well. Decides against it, so we are going to go heads up. Very different hands here.
Heads up. First
As we see the king 6 deuce board.
forward.
Doesn't improve either player. Amir's still ahead with ace high. Sean will elect to stab a continuation bet here, try and take this one down.
Seat 9 bets 115,000.
Looks like he will for 115k it seems. Double checking suits before eventually getting out of the way. And that is the power of having all of the chips.
No good, huh?
Parker with a
Line speed.
small hint to those bigger minds than ours who are listening, but just chucking it out there. An APT event in Townsville wouldn't go astray.
80.
Just up near my hometown.
King 7.
Plenty of poker up north, and I'm sure the APT would love to be joining you up there as well.
Nice one, man.
Yeah, Fakey making a very good point that it is something that they utilise at the extremely high stakes. So that's where it's most important to give off as few tells as possible.
160.
See, Manaha has changed from the offsuit kings to the offsuit
9 and 1.
aces. Looks like he's going to find a raise to 160k here.
5 folds.
Chad now in the big blind. Considering a defend. Definitely think it's a hand that should be defended. In this occasion though, he is dominated.
Heads up.
Oh, this is my song. No one's beating
To see the ace queen jack flop. Very good one for Manaha.
Better tank next hand.
Great for his range.
Everyone tank next hand.
Seat 7 bets.
I think it's just going to be a C bet and a quick fold, and that's exactly what happens. Manaha does like to play position, you're right, Timo. Very astute observer on the rail.
Tom Easy just having a dance. He's quite happy with his short stack.
Folded for one big.
Enjoying
Find
the
it.
music, enjoying the banter, enjoying his moment on stream.
It's my song.
Dare I say it, Jordan? It's
Big blind,
all
please.
too easy.
Thank you.
That's awful. His name is Tom, isn't it?
He's the dealer in charge of the playlist.
Gives me permission to then do what I want. My name's Tom too. Surely that's how it works.
First flag. 8 folds.
Glad you're learning in the chat, Timo. It's important to learn how position works.
We've definitely had some
9
interesting new
raise,
lessons.
160,000. 1 fold.
We see Sean with the 9-7 suited getting amongst it. 160k once again.
2 folds. 4 folds.
Cesari and Tom out of the way.
5 all in.
Jason now, King Jack of Spades. Looks like he's going to find a jam. I think this will definitely work against
7.
Sean. Good hand to be able to actually put in a call here, so Jason's going to be able to pick up some chips.
Wish I could. Now I gotta wait.
360k to his stack. Every chip is important right now. Almost nearing that 20 big blind mark.
Come on, muck around when the big stack raises. Some big. Then guess what? That's the only one I had.
First
So we see that Sean has dipped just below the 7 million mark.
9 and 1 fold.
Excitement happening over on the beast table.
Seat 2 raise 175,000. 4 folds.
Just sits behind us there. We see in the background.
5 folds. 6 folds.
Cesari with King Queen, fun and open.
7 and 8 folds. Thank you.
Take it down nice and uncontested.
Easy game.
Jason Cesari and Amir all really sort of hamstrung a little bit by Tom. Amir not quite as much with only 10 bigs to Tom's 7.
Man, where's that air coming in, huh? It's boiling now.
First
Oh,
up.
yeah.
One all in.
See some of the tournament directors curious to see what's going on in the background in their uniforms. A couple of other guys standing on the rail as Thomas decided deuces is the time. Rips him in the middle. Amir though, ace king, definitely going to be putting
Four
chips
all
in. Rejams himself.
Twos once. He's had pocket twos the second time. The second time he's not going to pass up. In they go.
As Jason's just going to hesitate for a moment, is going to fold. Same with Chad. Queen 9 just not it.
5 folds, 6 folds. 7 folds.
He wants to come.
5
Dale
folds.
is asking for a count though.
Not much.
Manohar not with much. Dale with 9s.
Yes.
Did see an ace folded in earlier position. So we know that there is one less ace, and these jams are only for 10 big
855.
blinds. He may think that this would be close to putting chips in. And if he does put the chips in and manage to hold, it would be a double KO.
Been done before.
This is a very crucial pot for Dale. Very important moment. Giving it some thought, checking the tournament clock. Wondering what the best decision to make here is. Do I preserve my chips or do I try and get us to six-handed? Does decide against it. And Sean with Jack 7 isn't going to be getting involved either. So we're going to see a flip between these guys.
I wonder how much influence Sean sitting there is on Dale.
Never loses.
Just
most
that
definitely.
fear of if I do call
I've got
and
somewhere
then
to be
Sean
anyway,
jams
so I'm
on.
just gonna pick the stuff up.
Looks like Tom needs to fade any aces, kings, or certain double paired boards to be able to find a double here.
Thanks, dealer. That's going to be a good flop for you. Heart.
That's not the flop he wants to see though. Ace high flop.
4 for a sweat.
No 4 on the turn. 1 of 2 outs. Isn't able to find
It's going
it.
to be anyone?
And we do lose Tom Easy in 8th place on this final table in the Maddocks Mindset main event. He's going to take home $7,000 for his efforts. Not bad for a couple of days' work. Handshakes all round. Always great to see that from the players. Definitely a great atmosphere and a great kind of community we have here at the APT.
When we started this final table, Jason Habash came to with 385,000, and he's been able to ladder 2 spots. He's got to be absolutely thrilled with that outcome.
Fantastic result for him. He's going to be stoked. It's $4,000 he didn't have before in his pocket.
Just by sitting out and letting 2 other players go home first, he's made himself virtually an extra 4,500.
So we've seen now Zari is all by himself in seat 2. Nobody else wants to sit near him. To spread out and take up as much space as he would like. Hopefully he can, probably thinking that he wants to accumulate more chips to be able to spread out a little bit more, but for now he's just got what he's got. Amir with his newly found chips, going to find a fold.
5 folds.
As well with Jason, over to Chad. Hasn't really been very active on this table so far. Hasn't had any opportunities to put any chips in.
6 folds.
Similar to this occasion. Folding over to the guys with the chips. Sean now. Looks like he's going to consider an open. He may even just consider jamming.
9 call.
No, just decides on a limp.
Zero's all in.
Looks like it is a jam from Cesare. Sean's going to ask for a count here.
Yeah. Yes.
I have to see exactly what amount he's going to have to put in the middle. We do see one of those big 500k
50,
chips
100.
in there.
Yes.
Taylor's going to count the chips out.
1.4.
Sean's rolling his eyes a little bit, not quite sure what to do. Does eventually decide on a fold. Cesare's going to find some much needed chips there.
Gonna put it in. If he has like an 8.
Just got to leave him there for a second. We're just fixing a technical problem.
Is it? Because he was big last time. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Yeah, just for chip
You can
count.
see that Sean is still up around that 6.7 million mark. Not quite as many chips as he had before. He's had a couple of people playing back at him. He is still in a commanding position here. Still a few guys sub 20 big blinds that need to be careful. Step in the wrong spot.
Plenty of depth of players. We navigate our way down through this table.
Looks like Jason's giving it some thought.
5 raise.
He's going to reach for raising chips. Does find it open with the Queen Jack offsuit. Probably wouldn't recommend doing this off of his stack. Rejam stacks behind and the hand just isn't strong enough to really be opening from here. Decides to do it anyway. Folds over to Sean.
9 fold. 2 fold.
Now folding to Amir in the big blind. Probably going to find a defend with this one. Already got a big blind invested. Folding a hand like this is going to be a bit criminal. Looks like he's reaching for calling chips and will put it in. There's already 600k in the middle, guys. Reminder that they started with 30k in this event. So see a flop of ace, jack, 6.
4 check.
Jason takes the lead with a pair of jacks. Not much here for Amir at this point.
200,000.
Jason going to fire out a continuation bet, 1/3. Quick fold.
Big blind ante.
Take it down.
You know, that's not $8 a minute.
A hot tip that you really need an offsuit king to open there, and you're surprised they haven't figured that out yet.
Come on, Cherry.
Thanks for that advice, Jimbo.
Hey, good. Always good, eh?
Six folds. 7 folds.
Now with ace king in the hijack.
Huge hand here for Dale. Multiple shorties behind him, so he's going to want to hope that somebody is going to try and get their chips in here.
8 raise, 210,000.
Sean, though, giving it some thought in the cutoff. May have a hand he wants to apply some pressure with.
Nine folds.
This time.
Sides against it.
folds.
It's going to fold to Amir, who does have a short stack. 12 big blinds and ace-10 suited. He may think that this is just probably too good to be folding.
4 calls.
Finds the call. Jason now, Queen Jack once again. Is going to find the defend. So we're going to go 3 ways here. All of these guys looking for a Broadway type flop. See if Taylor can oblige. He can't, but he does
4
give
check.
Amir top
5
pair.
check.
Jason an open ender.
8
And I don't think
3 play.
Dale is going to bite. Does check back. Ace on the turn though. Amir improves.
4 bets,
Top 2.
250,000.
Jason still with the open ender. May find a call as well. That will
Diamonds may save Dale some money here, but pretty rough. It'll be hard to get away with it away from it on the turn.
Yeah. I think Dale is definitely going to be at least calling this turn. Jason just double checking that he does have an open ender here. He may even think that he needs to call as well. A couple of chips fallen on the rail behind him. He may not think that they're in play.
Oh, God.
Ones too.
They're falling in here.
Yep, got another 100k than I thought. It's always good to find out about,
There goes the table.
apart from the fact that he can't find them.
Oh, no. You have it, you have it.
You have it.
Really thinking this one through. You can see that Dale has no chance to be able to win this hand at this stage. Jason does have a 20% chance if he's able to hit one of his open-ended cards.
5 folds.
Decides to let it go.
C8 raise all in.
I can't do anything.
Dale jams.
4 calls.
Amir is not folding. Dale is going to see that he is in pretty rough shape.
Take it for me.
Does give a bit of
Oh,
a
I thought
shrug
you had
there. Not much he
diamonds.
could really
Yeah.
do when he turns top pair. See, these guys are going to see a river.
Good luck, players.
Amir in a huge spot to find a gigantic double.
Had king jack.
And he's able to do it.
Both ways. Can you believe that, man?
Paint, but not a king.
We see a fun spot there where a player with 0% potentially could have won the hot pot. Once the straight or diamond draw got out of the way, that re-adds out
1,125,000
back up to 8% from the 0% he was.
As well, bro. 80, man.
And lucky.
I'm just going to step out of the booth for a moment, Jordan, and have a look at this beast final table, which is in action.
Yeah.
I'll leave the
I mean, I
stream
was
with you
worried
for
about the
very,
diamond, but
very
yeah.
fast.
Bakey asking if Deuces was wide there. He did only have 7 bigs. I think that is probably the key piece of information there. He was the clear shorty, and he was going into the big blind in the next hand. So if he did fold Deuces, he would have fallen down to 5 big blinds in the next hand, and it may have not been as good of an opportunity for him. So I'm not entirely sure. It could be a little bit too wide. Maybe you are meant to fold Deuces, but given the spot, I don't blame him for taking it. Andrew Zhang cheering for Chad in the chat.
The jack of diamonds. Yeah.
Saying Chad and chat back to front's always a bit of a tongue twister, but I'm trying my
The
best.
queen of diamond. You know how many times that happens?
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
The straight comes with
This
the
final
flush.
table. I understand we've got a lot of guys watching from all over the world.
Nice, sir.
No spoilers, but Ling Lu is still in a commanding position over in the beast. That tournament's still running here next to our feature table. And the
You know how spoilers work, right?
there is one.
2-fold.
Like you saying that she's in a commanding position is still a spoiler.
4-fold.
Nothing's changed from when the final table started.
5 calls.
Alright.
I need another 25, so.
The subtlety of that argument is probably fairly broad, but we'll allow it.
As we see Jason, Queen 7-0, Chad blindy blind. Gonna see flop here.
Wow, Chad figures out how to flop the
5
world.
bets, 1-2-5.
Top 2 are pretty good. Definitely going to be firing
6 calls.
some chips out here. Does just call.
5 jack. Six bets, 335,000.
He's going to continue barreling after Jason checks on this turn. 335. So he did call the flop. Likes to bet the turn. Jason just doesn't have anything to be able to contest with this. Has to fold.
Chad was hoping he caught up just a little bit there. He'd be happy to take in a whole lot of disguised monies. 2.3 million. 6.7 million still for Sean Zammit, our commanding chip leader at the moment.
At the moment, these guys have locked up $9,500 for their efforts. It was a $600 buy-in, so they're doing very well to be at this point already. There is a $3,500 money jump though. The 7th place finisher will get $9,500, but 6 will get 13. It's definitely going to be something they're going to be keeping in the back of their minds. Sure, they don't punt away any money, making any icy and crucial mistakes. As we see Sean here going to keep applying a pressure.
2 folds.
Queen suited. Lines raising up to 50-100.
4 folds.
Looks like it's going to fold around to the blinds.
5 folds.
Jason wasn't able to do anything with his Queen 5.
6 folds.
Manahar, I don't think will defend the Jack 7. Sean is just going to take this one down uncontested, keep adding to his mountain of chips. You can see that he has been V-pipping the most, definitely what you want to be doing as the chip leader.
He's not afraid to send him to war, and he's not afraid to scoop in pots uncontested. That's how we accrue. That's how we accumulate. Lovely, lovely big chip stacks like this. So folks at home, we've made our predictions. Jordan and I got in when there were 18 players left. Our two guys are still 2 of 8 on the table.
200,000. 2 folds.
Who do you think is going to take it home? Did we get the prediction right? Did we get it wrong? Let us know who you're cheering for. You'll find us live on Facebook at APT Live Reporting or Twitch, twitch.tv/LCA Poker. I'm Bear and Jordan Bromley, happy to answer your questions. Give a shout out to your player as we broadcast all the way down to a winner here at the Campbelltown Catholic Club for the APT Maddocks Mindset main event. Record-breaking prize pool, this APT main event series, with 637 runners, generating an enormous prize pool which has created a $68,000 first place payday. I would suggest there will be quite a few Easter buns.
Definitely a lot of money still to be made.
Winnings, Jordan.
Easter buns, you reckon?
Where it's at. Fortunately, Easter buns start coming out in around December these days, so...
I just want to double check that there's definitely no graphical error going on here. 10 deuce suited is the hand that just got ripped in, right? Jason really just has no regard for human life. He just wanted to rip in 10 deuce suited. Gets it straight through every single big stack at the table.
The Doyle gets the job done.
All in or fold that hand, you know what I mean? You can't muck around with those kind
Definitely not afraid.
He's happy to ladder. Came to this table with 385,000. He's already outlasted 2 players.
I don't know what to do with it.
7 players remain. That graphic will be updated there in a moment.
Steve Pappas in the chat saying, great commentary, guys. Congrats to the both of you. Thank you very much for the kind words, mate. Amazing to have you watching. Thank you for tuning in. Seen your name pop up a few times this week, so thanks for being here, and I hope you've been enjoying the content.
5 raise, 200. Six folds. 7 folds. 8
As we see folds around to Dale after Jason opening the Jack 10 suited.
9 folds.
Sean out of the way now and Cesari.
Yeah, from 5. 2 calls. Heads up.
Trying to defend. Deuces are once again. Jack 10 of clubs though does flop a flush draw.
Looks like the dude.
5 bets. 225.
This is the hand of the final table thus far.
2 folds.
Yep, definitely so. We've seen them about 4 times already. Jason picks up another nice spot, almost taking him over 2 million chips, having started with 385. Very, very fun spin up. Goes on to win it. It'll be absolutely amazing.
Joining us on Facebook chat as well, Steve Pappas again. Great commentary, guys. Congratulations to the both of you. Far too kind, Mr. Pappas. Always a privilege for us to see you in a poker room. One of the OG gentlemen of poker. Tony Roderick pointing out, let's go, Jason. He's got a quality rail there supporting you. Mr. Habash with a live and virtual rail. Plenty of love for him.
6 raise, 225.
As we see Chad with 9s, going to find an open for the first time on this final table. 225. And I think this one is going to get through pretty much entirely uncontested.
4 folds.
Not even a defend from Amir.
We're on the board.
Twilto, I hope on one day I will be on one of these tables with that much cash for prize pool.
Big one, Anthony. Thank you.
Josh, there's certainly plenty of opportunities for you to do exactly that. Australian Poker Tour travelling all around this year. Stop in Gold Coast in only a matter of months before a stop in Brisbane and then the big stop at the end of the year in Sydney again. We return for the Vault series, including the Vault tournament. October, we come back, and this time in Bankstown Sports Club.
6 raise, 220.
Chad trying to make it 2 from 2. Ace King O this time.
Must be nice. 9s, then Ace King.
9 folds. 2 folds.
Over to Amir.
4 folds.
think Jason is definitely going to find a defend here, though. Queen Jack suited is far too good of a hand to be folding, and he will.
Heads up.
So similar to before, any Broadway flop, and we will have action here. Once again, Jason with a gut shot. Chad's still in the lead, however. Does like just to check back his ace high. Or changes nothing on the turn. Check once again from Jason. Chad checking back. The river, however, does give Jason top pair. Likes to check it, and Chad's just going to show down ace high. Not going to be good though. River not kind to him on this occasion. See Sean opening the most, putting the most pressure with the most pre-flop raises.
I almost feel lonely out there for Cesar.
And nobody even remotely close to him. Hope he's got a rail out there, people supporting him.
Alright, this time I am going to give us an update on that base tournament, Jordan. I will return in 1 moment.
Fantastic, see you soon. Looks like Sean is going to put some of those chips to use once again.
200.
Manahar deciding against the offsuit king this time, Timo. Hope you're still watching. Didn't want to open it. Found one earlier. I think he's a bit worried about Sean and the amount of chips that he has, as we see Sean does open it up. 200k over to Chad in the big blind. And does have ace 10.
And everyone folds.
Isn't going to get any defense from anybody, as we see a number of aces get marked. Still up in the lead, extending back over that 7 million mark though, 7.2 mil. Cesar is still the short stack with 12 bigs. Dale level now. The back of that ace king, the ace 10 hand. He has been able to spin it up quite a few times, so I'm sure he's going to try and give it another go. McCrazed, just letting you know the buy-in for this tournament was $600. This is a $600 main event. $68,000 for first place.
8 raise, 1.2.
Timo, I'm not even going to humor that anymore, as we see Dale finding a jam.
2 folds.
Looks to be around 12 bigs, ace 10-0. Sean decides against fives. Definitely don't hate the fold with fives. Under the gun jams are very weighted towards strength. Dale is going to get it through though.
1.2.
Ace 6, the devil reckons he's never seen so many bum bags in one location in his life. I don't know, have you ever been to a a handbag store? Maybe that is somewhere you should check out. I'm crazy. I wasn't able to play this one. I'm actually dialing in from my home in Brisbane. I'm not in Campbelltown. I wish I could though. It looked like an absolutely fantastic tournament.
Is there any chance that you can get someone?
No, I just turned on.
It has started,
Wind, fire, earth,
all good, all good.
and water.
They were saying air conditioning is
So
not
we
working,
see
but now
Sean
they can
reaching
see
for
the
chips,
breeze.
going to find another open.
Yeah, so that's all good.
Yeah,
Continuing to apply pressure.
200. 2 folds. 4 folds. 5
Some with the
folds.
king 5 offsuit.
6 folds.
Taking a bit of a hint out of Manahar's playbook.
7 folds.
So we see it fold to Dale with king 7 suited in the big blind. I think he will want to find a defend with this one. Timo reckons he'll donate $100 to charity if he wins the tournament with an offsuit king. All right.
8 folds.
I'll hold you to that. I'll make sure that you will have to pay that amount. As we see Dale decides against the defend. Sean's going to keep stacking the chips up. 7.4 mil now. With Dave Sebesvi off the back of his very deep run in the grind, cheering for Dale. Dave Sebesvi also cashed in the Beast tournament.
What a jack on the river that was. Back when I first flipped.
J6 the Devil getting some clarification about the bum bags. I'm glad I was able to help you out with that. But this one definitely is Sydney, not quite strand bags. I know they can look very similar by the background. whole poker table in the middle of it and everything.
4 folds. 5 folds.
As we see it folding over to Chad, deciding against an open. Manaha 7-4 suited. And Dale blind be blind with Sean. I think he will probably just want to rip this one in. 12 bigs. And he will be called, I think, with the Jack 10 suited. Don't think Sean is going to let this one go. No, Dale is equal shortest. Maybe Sean is deciding against it. Ask for a count. Going to be around 13 bigs.
1.31. 1,310,000.
Sean's going to give this some consideration. Jack 10 offsuit, obviously a snap fold. Jack 10 suited has quite a lot of strength to it. I have to think that Dale is probably going to be jamming any pair here. And maybe even jamming hands like 10-9 suited, 8-9 suited. Jack 9 suited potentially. Yep, the cards have not changed, Sean. They are the same. Pretty close one though. 13 bigs is actually quite a lot to be having to call off here. And Jack 10 suited is probably near the bottom given the way the ICM is currently laid out. One does think better of it. Dale gets it through.
They do that. They have staff parties and everything.
Appreciate your 2K6. Thanks for tuning in. Go ahead cheering on Chad and Jason. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Return from the felt, Jordan. 5 players now left in the Beast tournament. Some very, very familiar faces there. But absolutely no spoilers as to who those 5 are. Just the fact that it's down to 5. Timo, you just see right there, there's your offsuit king. No readers need to be checked at all. This game is playing the way it is. And you heard it here first, $100 to charity if and when Manamar wins this tournament with an offsuit king. Very kind of him.
It's been the nut
I
tonight.
think I just left as you were introducing
Well, not if you're doubling up.
bum bags
You already made that mistake once.
shoulder bags discussion where you two
Yeah.
can purchase your next shoulder bag.
Yeah, well, we had K6 making the observation that he's never seen so many bum bags in one location in his life. I asked him if he'd ever been to a shopping centre. Glad we were able to clear that up. McRae's asking if this was a 3-day. No, this was a 2-day tournament. There was multiple different flights across a number of days, though. I think there was maybe 4 or 5 flights for this event. Leading
through
to
D,
so 4 flights, leading to 637 entries. As we see a number of hands that could definitely be spiced up a bit here. Manohar with the King Jack O. Sean with Ace 4 decides against the defense because he knows that Cesare is going to be ripping it in here. And we'll see how much faith Manohar does have in his offsuit kings.
1.1.
Ask for a count. This one's for you, Timo, he says.
1.1.
Thank you for the kind words. Yoad, I don't want to mispronounce your name. I'm sorry if I have.
7 folds.
Yeah, definitely probably a few rebuys involved in this McRaised.
Yes.
Looks like Manohar has gotten out of the way with the offsuit king. Not as much faith in it as you have, Timo.
Did you fold that one?
As we see that he has been the most aggressive player at the table. Jason followed closely behind with Amir just kind of letting everybody else do their thing.
You were happy with all that.
We're getting that aggression frequency really based just on sample size, so as we get more and more hands of
Usually better than
playability,
many opens.
you'll see that representing more accurate as to how these players are playing. But it gives us an indication as to what's been happening on the table.
5 folds.
We see Jason deciding against the King 5 suited. Chad deciding against the Ace 9-0. Gonna let it fold
Too early for
across.
Chad, +1.
8 folds.
Yeah, let it fold across to Sean. I would say we'll be applying some pressure here.
8 folds. 9 folds.
No, he won't. He's gonna let it be a battle of the blinds.
2 calls.
Zari finding a call with 9 deuce of clubs. Amir with the same suit.
checks.
A little bit lower though. Zari a favourite going to the flop. As we see, Amir picks up an open ender. Zari just ahead with 9 high though. Checks through. 8 on the turn. Gives Cesari
2 bets, 125.
a gut shot. Amir still with an open ender. Don't think he can go anywhere. A 7 on the river would be a bit of a disaster. Looks like Amir is going to can it a call and put it in. See the outs at the top of his screen is looking for a 5-4 or deuce. It is not it. He has the second or the third nut low on this run out. 9 high will win. And looks like Cesari is going to try and take it away here.
2 bets, 225.
As long as Amir doesn't get him to fold, he will win this hand.
4 folds.
He does let it go. Cesari is going to pick up quite a lot of chips there. Very good one for his stack.
9 high like a boss. It's not often the 9 high is actually not as good.
Back up to around the 18 big blind mark as we see Chad sneaking down to that 2 million mark. 20 big blinds. We march on here. The final table of the Maddocks Mindset main event here at the Australian Poker Tour in Campbelltown.
Six raise, 225.
So it looks like Chad has found an open here. 225k.
7 folds.
Fold it over to Dale.
8 folds.
Out of the Jack 9 of hearts. Probably one of the worst hands he will open here.
2 folds.
Gonna fold around to Amir in the small blind. Ace 10 suited. 23 bigs. I think he's going to at least be finding a call here, and he does. Jason with the same hand as Chad will probably come along as well, so we're going to see a flop here, potentially 3-way.
5 calls.
Looks like that's the plan.
2 Jack 9s in one hand. I don't know who could possibly lose.
Well, 4-4-4 flop. You can see Amir is still ahead with ace high.
Check.
Fun tidbit about this hand.
Wins.
Definitely favors the pre-flop razor.
325.
Wonder if Chad knows that.
Correct.
Looks like he's going to fire out a bet of 1/3, or maybe even half pot, 325k. Gets the fold from Amir. Gets it done. Jack high.
Beautiful work.
Those are 3-of-a-kind flops. Very, very rare to happen, but they definitely favor the pre-flop razor. They have the most overpairs in their range when nobody else jams in. Nobody else really has aces, kings, queens, jacks, or 10s there, but Chad can have all of that. Uses it to his advantage. Alexander, yes, there are 7 people left. That graphic in the top right is just one off. We'll update that one and make sure it's updated for you in a second. See the crowd starting to circulate around the last 2 tables that are running at the APT.
7 folds.
You can see some people sitting at the final table of the Beast in the background.
8 folds.
Sean now with ace-5-0. Very active with some pretty garbage hands, and this one's pretty good, so this one's an open to 200.
2 folds. 4 folds.
Looks like it's going to get through the cutoff on the button. I think it'll probably get through the blinds as well. Chad not going to be doing anything with Queen 3-0 here. Sean's just going to have it.
6 folds.
Does. Tim DePardo doesn't reckon we can go past Chad. Certainly was my pick coming into this. He's going to have to do a little bit of work though to catch up to Sean. Sean has 3 times more chips than the next closest player. Almost half the chips in play.
We did indeed pick our predictions when we were 18 players remaining. And we're unaware of exactly what chaos Sean was causing on the outlying tables. It came to our final table with commanding chip land. It's over 6 million. A little bit over 7. hasn't been
Two diamonds exposed.
pressure at all on this final table. And
He's
right
got-
on cue.
8 folds.
Just like that, waking up with 2 Barrys.
9 raised. 200,000.
He's gonna treat it just like another hand though, opening to 200k. And Amir with 4s
4 calls. 5 folds.
does decide to call. And Manaha with a suited king. We're gonna get to find out how he plays the suited varieties. We're so used to seeing him with offsuit kings.
7 calls.
But come along. So 3 guys for the flop. Shout out Toby Giles in the chat. Heard you ran deep in this event, mate. Congratulations on the series. As we see top 2 for Manaha, that is a huge flop, and all of a sudden, Sean is not in front anymore. And Manaha is going to go with this patented donk. We saw him doing this on the feature table all day whenever he flopped anything. He would always lead the flop. Sean would not have seen this though. He hasn't played with Manaha at all today and may not have any info about what was happening on the final table, on the feature table. Does double check that he doesn't have the ace of hearts. He's going to get a quick count on Manaha's stack. 1.4 million behind, roughly 14 big blinds. Probably wondering whether or not he wants to just run it here so that he doesn't see any scare cards on the turn that slows down the action. Doesn't really want to see a 9, a queen, a jack, or a heart.
Loving the cheer slash friendly needle from Toby Giles.
9 calls.
Back to after this hand.
4 folds.
Let that one slide, Toby.
Heads up.
4s get out of the way.
7 on the turn doesn't change anything. Wouldn't be surprised if Manaha just rips it. And he does. And he's going to be quickly called. Oh, no, he's not.
Sean sniffs something out.
Let's just see another heart.
Wow, Sean snap folds aces there.
No, 7 bets all in, 9 folds.
Very quickly gets rid of those aces.
I thought he snap called, but he didn't. He snap folded. He must know something we don't. Wow, he must have been watching the feature table today. He knows exactly what that type of strength means. Sean doesn't seem to think anything of it. Another hand.
Comfy. Oh, yep, good. Did everything I was supposed to in exactly the way I meant to. That's why I have 7 million chips still. Very, very comfortable. Toby Giles, over to Dale. Plenty of fanfares. Love to see a player turned dealer turned player take a deal.
Sounds like a plan.
9 raised. 200,000.
Maybe a needy, but nothing but love from Toby for most of the community, and certainly nothing but love from Toby for Dale. That was my pick, Toby. You'd be
2
happy
calls.
to know.
4 folds.
Torn between my love for Chad or Dale at 18 players, and I've decided to send it towards Mr. Patterson. Hopefully he will get the job done for my pick. Raised, impressive from Sean there. Would love to know his train of thought. Yes, that's definitely a post-game interview. I wouldn't be asking many questions on the break of Sean. I wouldn't want to mess with the integrity of the tournament, but I would be very keen to know exactly why he was able to make a quick fold.
5 folds.
Definitely recognize the strength of the flop donk by Manaha.
He's done it plenty of times.
6 folds.
Sean able to pick it off for exactly what it was.
Receiving messages from a number of people saying that that was a ridiculously crazy fold. A king fold by Sean. Yeah, X-ray vision.
Ridiculously good fold. It's a snap fold.
Folds like that you need to make to be able to win a tournament like this. As we see Dale putting the chips in with King 10, Cesare was setting the trap with Ace Queen. Realized that Sean was probably opening relatively wide numbers of hands. Cesare let somebody else potentially make the mistake to jam it in there.
9 folds.
Cesare is going to have to make the call here.
141.
Asking for a count.
All in. Re-raise all in. 2 re-raise all in. 7 folds.
Looks like he does rejam, so we're going to see a big all-in here. Cesare with a chance to potentially knock out your pick. 3.3 million in the middle. Dale with a big... Dale with a lot of supporters on the sidelines, hoping he finds the double here. We're going to see all 5 cards.
You want what, sorry? You want them away from the...
And that is a 10. Dale does take the lead. He needs to fade 6 outs. Manages to do so on the turn. Picks up a deuce as an out though. Does not find it. So Dale is going to find the full double, taking himself back up to 3.3 million. A huge result for him. And just like that, Cesare is going to be our new table short stack. Only around 3 or 4 big blinds.
Yeah. How much was that? How much
See him come back.
did you have total?
1.41.
Fakey making a very good point. He was dumping middle pairs and strong, not just strong top pairs, so it's not always strength. The thing to note is that he's doing it against the chip leader, so he's definitely not worried about his tournament life. He's basically saying, look, I have it. I'm gonna let you try and make the mistake and call me off because you're the one that's been so aggressive against me.
He had 1.4.
I think it's the player that he was doing it against that is the key issue there. Because Sean's not really afraid. Sean has got the chips to be able to lose. See,
Thanks, guys.
Russell Fogarty tuning in as well. Good to see you in the chat, mate.
Unlucky.
My bad.
Dale now
Yeah, he should be all
picking
in
himself way back up off the back of that Ace King v Ace 10 hand.
Lucky lady back. How are you, man?
David Sebespi wishing luck for Chad as well. Andrew Zhang commenting on that great fold by Sean. As we carry on here, Zari the absolute... Zari going to be on fumes. Janjadi making a very good point. It was straight into the chip leader. Zero fear there.
First out. 2 folds. Four folds.
Jason now ace queen.
Raise, 250.
Chad gets the meme hand out of the way.
7 folds.
Back over to Dale.
8 folds.
And now Sean in the big blind. Are we going to find a defend here with the offsuit ace 4? Yeah, we had, at one point we had 6 players sub 20 big blinds at the start of this final table, so it was a relatively evened out table.
You're gonna get me in here, you're gonna make me IM suicide with a monster hand, with a guy with 300.
He had a plan and he executed it perfectly to fold the aces
how this
there.
game goes, isn't it?
The reason he's always at these final tables, he knows what he's doing. Just like he may know that he's in pretty rough shape here. He's not really putting the calling chips in very quickly. He may know that Jason has a pretty decent holding opening off of 15 bigs.
Yeah, I'm just happy to take it down.
Yeah, and he does fold. Wow, he's really not letting these guys have an inch.
I don't want to...
He's maintaining the amount of chips that he has very well. Certainly been thrown some haymakers and he's managed to duck and weave pretty well so far. As we see that Manohar is sneaking underneath the 20 big blind mark. Cesare with just 3 big blinds, however. So all of these other guys have a pretty big ICM situation on their hands. They can't be making any mistake in getting busted out prior to Cesare. ICM cage is real in a spot like this.
Like a butterfly sting, like Sean Zammit, hey?
Yeah.
First out.
I noticed you talk about the meme
4
hand with
folds.
Jack 4 and Chad there earlier. I think it's interesting to note that
5 folds.
when Adrian Attenborough spent 19 minutes in the tank heads up with Jack 4.
I'm going to interrupt you, Tom, because we've got a cooler going on right now. Chad with kings, Anna with queens. We are going to see chips flying here.
Seat 6 raise, 240.
Surely, Manohar respects the queen as more than he does the jacks. This has to get wild.
I mean, this time it's Chad's turn to have the offsuit King X. Manohar with queens. Looks like he's going to count the chips out. Deciding what size to make it. I can't imagine he's going to be doing anything other than a raise. Princess leaning over. Looks like it is a raise to 525k.
You technically have offsuit King X squared.
And this is what I was talking about when it came to a ridiculous ICM spot.
6 all in.
Cesari has one big blind.
All in and a call.
Manaha will put it in,
Shopper's face.
and Cesari is just dreaming here. Look at his reaction. He can't believe it. This is huge. Chad has the opportunity to help Cesari find a ladder. Manaha is in rough shape. He's going to be coming into the blinds before Cesari will be coming back into the blinds. Chad with a chance to go back over 5 million. 5-5-4 on the flop, no help for other player. It's a queen and a queen only. No help on the turn, only a queen will save Manaha here. And it is paint, but it's a jack. Chad is going to find a huge double, up to 5 million, and Manaha is going to be left with fumes. He's going to be forced all in 3 hands time. It's all happening on this final table. Chad with 5 million.
My rubbish story about Jack 4 being the exciting hand just doesn't matter anymore. There's just too much action here.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt you there.
Miss out. No. My gosh. Campbelltown Catholic Club for the APT Maddocks Mindset Main Event Final Table. If you haven't already, click that share button to all your poker playing friends. This is absolutely wild. Come and join us. Jordan Bromley, Tom Bauer in the booth.
Easy fold. What you're coming up against.
I know a lot of people that are cheering Chad on from the sidelines. They're not going to be able to believe that he has had some ridiculous run good on this feature table already of the day.
Can you double check
I don't
the
think
button?
he might believe it himself.
10. What's he going to talk about? What could he possibly talk about after today's session on the stream?
He can't tell bad beat stories when he doesn't have any.
There's no bad beat stories to be told.
As Deacon Daddy is right in the chat, it does look like it's heading towards a Sean v Chad heads up, but there's still another 5 players at the table that are going to have something to say about that.
120, is it? Yes.
Oh, but craze, there's plenty of recognisable faces on this stream. Haven't been playing or really watching for a while now, but I haven't heard and don't recognise any of these fellas. Sean Zammit has won the WPT Player of the Series and Main Event countless times, both in WPT League, of course, countless times, both in Sydney and in Queensland. Chad Auerbach, I don't know how you can play poker in Sydney and not know that Chad is in every winning photo. He's not always the subject of winners, but he's always there.
Thanks,
John Patterson has been a player, a dealer, a TD, and a player again. Very well known in Sydney, Marconi. One of the gentlemen of poker, and there's plenty of other recognisable faces here as well.
7 all in.
Anaha doesn't care about the ICM. He's going with it. Jack 9 suited, 1.5 bigs. Folding for Dale, and Sean with a dominating ace jack.
120 is the line.
Gosh, Cesari with 1 big and ace 6.
Well, if you're Cesari, you just need to fold and hope for a pay jump here. It looks like that's what he does.
Change.
Seriously, you raised?
300,000.
One-time ladder.
And looks like
4 folds.
Sean is going to be in a good spot to find a KO here. I know Cesari is hoping for it. Manaha, head down, can't quite believe the situation he's gotten himself into. It's 9 and 9 only. Or hearts, for that matter.
Yeah, I had a king.
Finds a jack, but that's no good at the moment. Only a 9 will help him. 10's no good either. An ace for a chop. Doesn't find it. So we will lose Anaha in 7th position off the back of one of the most brutal callers in APT-FT history. So we can see Cesari on fumes, having a bit of a laugh to himself. It's 90k.
I had enough A6.
Good fold.
I would split.
Good fold, man.
Pleasure being able to commentate Manaha's rise throughout this tournament. Had a number of very, very interesting hands. He definitely played well to make it this far. Definitely hold his head up high.
A gentleman handshake to everybody involved as he leaves the table. Nothing but kindness there and gratitude.
No. I mean, he was actually, looks like he was crying.
No, I have not even completely blind.
If you haven't been through the tears on a poker table,
First out.
Welcome back.
you haven't played.
Been involved in big ones like this yet. Not
I've
as
been
good as
there,
any of
but
these guys, but this is where you'll
Never like,
see you back in the stream.
No, not that ball that was. Oh, you want to get ice as well?
But I6.
So I wonder when Cesare is going to put in his remaining half a big blind. He's got 4s here. I think this is going to be it. Corn's going to consider applying the pressure, but I think given Cesare is so short, he might just decide against it.
9 folds.
Yep, decides against it, and Cesare's going to put the chips in.
2 all in.
So regardless of what the big blind has, it's going to be an all-in call situation.
4 folds, 4 cards.
must have to over.
Happy with that outcome?
Yeah, Jason's going to be pretty happy to see that it is still a flip. Zari is going to be the favourite here, but he's going to have to fade 10s and 7s on this flop, as well as the potential of counterfeit outs.
Oh boy.
6-8, that's exactly what we needed to lead him as well.
Bit of a sigh around the table. I can't quite see what the board is just yet.
Do I get change?
Looks like Cesari's sitting back down.
Do I get
90.
change?
Looks like he may have found a double there.
Nice
It's
one.
a 4 on the flop. So we are going to keep Cesare. Yeah, the 4.
Where's the set?
Oh, yeah,
So we
yeah.
are going to stay 6-handed Cesare up to 3 big blinds, 360k. Still alive and kicking in this tournament.
A ladder and a triple.
He lost the only time.
Must
he
be
counted.
nice.
To knock you out, you know what I mean?
Right, I'll take the Will.
Because it would have been a big stuff.
Will on day one. I'm pretty sure I will.
As we see these guys having a bit of a chuckle between each other. Cesare can't believe his luck being able to find the ladder and then find the triple up essentially there. Back up to 3 bigs.
You got the other 636 people. Outside Sean.
Here just double checking the tournament clock. Where we're at, where we're going.
First out.
The action will be on Dale, who wakes up with one of the best hands ever created. Not no pair. He's definitely going to be finding an open here. 6120. I think he's going to open to 250, maybe even just 240.
Seat 8 plays. 260,000.
I'm wrong again. 260. Sean's going to get out of the way.
2 folds. 4 folds. 5
Going to fold over to the blinds. Chad. Ace Queen. Oh no, this could be a very spicy hand between these two. Chad does need to remember that Cesare has fumes just 4 seats to his right. Shouldn't be making any rash decisions given how short stacked he is. He's having a look at his chip stack. Looks like he's going to potentially try and measure out a 3-bet. This could be a very dangerous situation for him. Looks like he's counting out somewhere in the instance of 1 million chips. Not quite 1 million. Looks like he's put a raise into 750.
775.
And Dale
8
snap
goes all
jams.
in.
Doesn't waste any time. Puts the jam in. Huge jam considering the short stack sitting at the other side of the table, and I think Chad may be able to figure this one out.
This is going to save us.
Double checking the amount of chips he has in his stack. I don't think he can call this.
0.2.
If he calls, he'll be leaving himself with just over 10 big blinds.
3 million.
Cesare not in this hand, like if he's bust, this is curtains for Chad. But truly, and that's what Chad's staring down Cesare's stack,
Yeah.
it may be the thing that keeps this tournament and keeps him from making it.
Gotta think, is Dale going to be doing this with Jacks 10s, Ace Jack, Ace 10, just given the short stack Cesare on the other side of the table? I really doubt it. It sucks, but I think given the ICM situation, Ace Queen is just not a call. We saw him make a bit of a side snap call earlier with Jacks when he was rivered against the nut flush. However, this is a bit of a different scenario.
3.60.
Definitely not an easy one though. This one's some thought. I have to wonder whether or not Dale is going to be able to jam a hand like Ace Jack or Ace 10. I think the answer isn't yes. I think he definitely would have thought it through at least a little bit more. Dale didn't even consider it. He just started piling chips into the middle. Chad has a double check in his hand and puts it in the muck. Nice fold. Very disciplined fold there from Chad. He is going to be able to continue in this tournament. Dale does give him the good news.
That's why he's the wizard.
I think these guys are pretty good friends. You can see that 6th place. Next bust out is going to be locking up $13,000. So there was a $4,425 ICM situation there if Chad was to think about it. Chad, what a fold. Andy Zhang in the chat is shouting him out, giving him props for that one.
Some good poker being played tonight.
These guys definitely know what they're doing. It's an absolute pleasure to be able to watch them do their thing.
I believe, John.
Usenet confirming it. Yeah, good fold as well. Quite a lot of support all around the trap for these guys.
The ace king gives the confidence to be like, yeah.
9 raise, 240,000.
Yeah.
As we see Sean's turn to have ace queen.
100%.
Cesari's got 3 bigs and ace 3-0, probably wondering whether or not it's his time. You know Sean has been pretty active and it looks like he is pushing the chips
2
forward.
all in. 4 folds.
Amir not going to get involved with 7-6. Chad with king queen. I think he'll think better of this one as well.
360. 360.
To work through where he is in the hand with who's opening.
Given that it's a raise to 240k and an all-in for 360, technically it constitutes a raise. So if Chad considers a cold call here, technically I think it actually opens the opportunity for Sean to be able to isolate. This could be a pretty big error if Chad decides to either call or even find a 3-bet here. And it looks like he is going to measure out a 3-bet. He puts it in. 950k.
1,050,000.
And now Sean
8 folds.
having a bit of a laugh, seeing what's going on. If you could see the hands, it's 1.1 million, sorry. If you could see the hands, he'd be 100% fist bump ripping this in there, putting Chad in the absolute mega blender. Someone checks his hand, giving it some thought, quick shake of the head. Checking the tournament clock. Made a big fold before with aces. Sometimes when people make a big fold like that, they can overthink decisions like this. And it looks like he is going to usher them cards through to the muck. He's going to be very disappointed to see the situation he would have been in. Yeah, he does roll his eyes. He can't quite believe what he's done. Cesari in a position to be able to find another double up.
Yes, I saw an ace.
That's a bit of a level war happening, right?
6 outs for Chad. 8 on the turn doesn't change anything. King or a queen. And it's a 7. So Cesari is going to get all the way back up to 1.2 million.
360. 360.
Chad dropping down to 3.7. Sean still at 6.7.
Well done, mate.
Don't know if I would have found the call with King Queen. I think I would have just let the chip leader take the hit. He did go after it. Just him a little bit.
I still beat him anyway. He would have got more money. Could have made more money.
Making you bang on. It is great news for
Wild
Cesari.
time, yeah, so off to under. Nice bet, mate.
And he has to fade the one player. And he is able to do exactly that.
Cesari had 90k less than an orbit ago, and now he's got 1.2 million.
That's the problem.
Ridiculous spin up for this point in the tournament.
2 folds.
And I think the other guys are going to be kicking themselves that they weren't able to land the knockout blow. Still a pretty ridiculous ICM situation. He's got 10 bigs, but he's still the shortest. These other guys are handcuffed. Can't really be doing anything. Amir doesn't really care though. He's going to find an open with 10-9 suited from the hijack into the big stacks.
I don't know. This is
As you can see, Chad is going to ask for a count. This is what happens. 10-9 suited, given how short Cesare is, you probably just want to be folding this one. You can have a raise fold, but given the stacks behind you and how aggressive they are, definitely not a good spot to be in as we see Chad with jacks. Definitely going to be putting in a 3-bet here. Probably to around 600 or 700k. It looks like it will be 700.
Seat 6, we raised 690,000.
Dale with Queen 10 gets out of the way. One of the jacks is killed by Sean.
8 folds. 690.
Didn't even realize he had cards. Going to be putting it in the bin. Mia scratching his head. Can't quite believe it. Amir may be considering
4 folds.
his life, decides against it, and now Amir is going to be nearing the short stacks. Though Cesare will be going into the big blind here. He's not out of the woods yet.
Blinds, please.
You see that Sean is still in the lead. Almost 2 million chips clear of the third place chip stack. Or second place chip stack, sorry.
First start. 4 folds. 5 folds.
Sure, yeah.
6 folds.
See, folded over to Sean, King 7. Blind blind, this is just going to be a jam, I think. Going to want to try and apply as much pressure as you can on the short stack. He's going to wield the power of those chips. Maybe he just says 500k instead.
550,000. 2 folds.
And gets the fold. See Cesare now still the short stack. He's done an amazing job to be able to spin it up, but he's still at risk of being the next person eliminated.
First start. 5 folds. 6 folds. 8 folds.
Folded around to Sean once again. 2 shorties in the blinds. I think he's just going to use the power of the stack here and jam it in. Got a pretty good hand though. Maybe he wants to try and induce a jam from these guys. Nope, he's just going to throw those big chips out there. Cesare with the Queen 9 suited may consider this to be his time. Giving it a little bit of thought. We can see Amir won't be making any decisions. Just 4-3 offsuit.
2 folds. And 4 folds.
See Sean picks up yet again another pot.
Still 6 players remaining. Sean Zammit holds the majority of the chip leads, but this is anyone's game. Another testament to the structure of tournaments created by the Australian Poker Tour, which gives these players maximum opportunity to play poker. The blinds aren't making the decision for them completely. In fact, the ICM has sometimes been completely ignored. But Cesare with 1 big able to spin it up just under $1 million. Can he spin it up to every chip on the table?
4 all in.
Now Amir with King Queen O does decide to jam blind be blind, and I think Jason with Ace 8 has a decision here. I think he will end up finding the call for 10 bigs.
1.2 million.
Has to imagine that Amir is going to be jamming hands like King Queen, King Jack, King 10. Maybe even hands like Ace Deuce and Ace 3, which Jason is clearly ahead of.
Better. Really?
I think we will find he'll end up making the call here. He's going to do a little bit of posturing first.
Yeah, 5, 6.
McRae's asking about if they can watch the stream. No, they can't have the stream open at their tables from what I understand, but they can have information relayed to them by an outside source.
Stream is on delay. Any of their rail can be passing that forward to them, but we don't let them watch the stream while on the table, no.
Jason thinking this one through. Give him a bit of a stare down.
You've been raising a little bit all night. You haven't gone all in like that one.
Yeah, because I'm short stack now. What else can I do?
Not risk your stack. Yeah, bro.
Shows an ace and decides to fold.
I had an ace.
Amir not giving him the same courtesy, just pitches his cards. Amir going to pick up some nice chips there. Jason's going to fall to be second shortest in chips just behind Cesare, I think.
Blind versus blind.
Blinds, please.
Tricky.
First dog.
As we see, most of the chips in the table centralized around seat 8 and seat 9.
Seat 9 raise.
Home with Jack 9 suited, going to find a raise, 240k.
2 and 4 fold.
Zari with King 8 getting out of the way.
Five folds.
Jason going to check his total chip stack, Queen 10 before folding. Chad with an ace, probably going to find a defend. But he may decide against it given how short Cesare is, want to try and preserve as many chips as he can. But he is trying to win this tournament, so he wants to try and keep playing pots.
6 folds.
Looks like he will defend. Off to a flop we go.
Heads up.
Which gives Chad a double gutter. Sean just jack high.
9 checks. Check round.
Both players check, check, flop.
First dog.
Turn does give Sean a pair though.
6 checks.
Chad checks it over.
Sean is going to find a bet of probably around half pot here.
Seat 9 bets.
Looks like that's what he reaches for. 375k it seems, or 275k. Oh, I was right the first time. 375.
Never question yourself, Jordan. Always right.
And I think Chad is going to find a call here. He's got a deuces and out and a 6. And he can also think that that ace could be good as well. He is going to find a float.
6 folds.
Off to a river. Which is a jack, giving Sean top 2 now. Like Chad is going to think on a donk here. He does block 6, 7 and ace deuce. So he can have straights, and it looks like he's going to fire quite a sizable bet out there.
6 bets.
Be around 975k, so 2/3 the size of the pot.
975.
I don't think Sean is going to be doing anything with top 2 though. I think this is always going to get looked up.
The club's complete, but I still feel like Sean is going to have to call this one.
Yeah.
975.
Looks like he is just going to count his chips out. And I think if Chad wanted to get this a little bit more credit, he would have had to go much larger. Yeah, it does just get called. Ace-high going to be no good. The river 2 pair for Sean is going to take it down. Chad wanted to get that one done, repping a flush or a straight. I think he may have wanted to pot the river. 1.5 million may have been able to get the job done, but in this scenario, More chips are going to get pushed Sean's way as now he goes up over the 8 million mark comfortably with 8.7 million.
3.9 for Dale.
Perfect turn for you anyway. Get chewing on that turn. I want to know what I had that end. I think I had 6-7 suited. I think I flopped off.
2.5 for Chad, 1.5 for Jason, 1.4 for Amir. Our shortest stack, still Cesare. 7 big blinds, 900,000.
Yes, I know. Makes it a lot easier. 7 of clubs.
Again, Cesare, spin it up. 1 big blind. Got the free ladder.
9
Spun it up into 9.
240,000.
What's he gonna do?
2 folds. 4 folds.
Looks like Sean's going to keep his foot down. 240k.
Sean, please. 5 folds. 6 folds.
Dale on the big blind with 10-5 suited. May decides to defend this one. No. Decides against it. I think Sean is going to eclipse 9 million off the back of that pot. Yep, you can see the 9 there in front of his chip stack. In front of his chip count, sorry. You see that Chad is at 20 big blinds and Dale has 30 bigs. 75 bigs in Sean's hands is quite a lot.
First off. 2 folds. 4 folds. 5 folds.
See it fold around to Chad on the button. He's going to give it up as well. Dale with ace-4 suited. You'll find call blindly blind. Yep, looks like he's just going to call.
9 check.
Sean just going to check. We're going to see a heads-up flop
Heads
here.
up.
360 in the middle.
8 checks.
2 pair for Dale, but it does give Sean a gut shot.
9 checks.
Going to be seeing a
Check
turn
out.
here. Check on the flop.
First off.
Turn is a jack. Doesn't improve either player. Sean's still with a gutter. Dale still with the lead. Looks like he's going to try and find a bet on the turn here. 150k.
150,000. 150.
A little bit under half pot. Sean may consider floating with the gutter. As you can see, he does have 3 outs to try and get. One of the 6s were folded pre-flop. Looks like he's going to find a call.
Heads up. First off.
To a river we go.
Like a 2, but we'll just get their river card in a moment.
It looks like it's an
There you
8,
go,
so it
sorry.
does give Sean a pair. It doesn't really change this hand at all.
See, that's 550,000. 550. Correct.
Dale's still in the lead with 2 pair. And I think given the way the hand's played out, Sean is probably just going to fold this one. Off the back of the turn bet, the only real hands that Dale is going to have here in this way is going to be hands like busted flush draws or pure value. I just don't know whether or not Dale is going to go after it against the chip leader. Does block the nuts with 6-7.
Nine.
Sean makes another disciplined laydown. Very nice fold. So we see 8.7 million still for Sean. Isn't it recommended you stay away from the big stack at the FT? Certainly seems that way, the way things have been going so far. You can see the support on the rail for Dale.
Had a fun tip from one of our TD staff in the chat. Not sure where you guys are up to with main event, but if Sean Zammit ends up winning this, make sure you mention that on day 2 he was down to less than starting stack at 23k, then hit a straight flush for a double up to begin his run to the title.
260,000.
It's a heck of a run.
8 folds.
Nursed that stack all the way down from 23 to just 23,000 to up and over 9 million.
As we see Cesare having to fold from the big blind yet again. Chad with pocket queens going to take this one down, keep adding to his stack. Cesare just with 5 big blinds now. See Amir with 12 and Jason with 12 as well. So we're definitely getting towards the exciting part of the tournament. A little over 140 big blinds in play. See it on Jason here now. Over at Cesare's stack before making his decision. Decides he's still going to find an open.
5 raised, 250,000, 250.
Ace-5 suited. Chad, though, with Ace-10. Might consider applying some pressure to the shorter stack, Jason.
Six folds.
Sides against it. Tail with King-Jack also deciding against it.
9 folds. 2 folds. And 4 folds.
We are just a few minutes away from a comfort break for our players. About 5 minutes before they head to their next break. It's just a short 10-minute break for them. We do say strange things happen.
Blinds and ante, please.
Strange things happen for the break, including me losing my voice. Maybe strange. Maybe a blessing for the viewers at home, who knows.
Big blind, please.
Nobody wanting to do anything with Cesare this short.
Everybody's playing very snug at the moment. The chip leaders are kind of having their way with everybody at the table at the moment.
First out.
We see the 2 next shortest stacks in the blinds at the moment. Cesare still the clear shortest. Looks like it's going to fold over to Sean.
9 folds. 2 folds.
Not going to open the 10-5, and I think Cesare will fold the 9 deuce. Looks like it's going to be a walk for Jason.
Yeah, I had ace king as well.
Got an absolutely piles of viewers joining us both on Twitch and Facebook. Find us on Facebook at APT Live Reporting and twitch.tv/LCO Poker. Shout us out, viewers. Who were we cheering for? George and I made our predictions when we were 18-handed. I chose Dale. He chose the Chad. Are we right? Are we wrong? Who do you think is going to take down the Maddocks Mindset main event?
18-handed. That's a huge poker table.
We had a discussion about this in the teams tournament earlier in the week, whether should we play it 13-handed or not.
8, 9 folds.
They did decide not to.
Thank you for
2
that.
all in.
This looks like Cesare is going to run it with King
4,
9.
5 folds.
Decided that for these 3 big blinds, this is it. It's going to fold into the blinds. Chad is not going to find it defend with 10-8. We'll let Cesare pick this one up, take himself back around the 7 big blind mark.
Blinds, please.
See, Amir is almost joining him. He has joined him below 10 now. Jason thinks that Tommy is the winner. He's net shouting out Chad once again, as well as good Cedrez. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Glad to see you here.
Far too kind, Mr. Abraham. Tommy is the winner indeed. What a privilege it is for me. I get to travel the country and watch these poker players put on a performance like this. Life is good.
Looks like Sean is counting out an open here.
9 raised, 240,000.
240k.
4 fold. Five folds.
Not going to have anybody fighting back against him. Don't think Chad will either with Queen Deuce, and Dale is going to let it go through as well.
8 folds.
Looks like Sean had kings, so he had a taste of the good life already. Made a quick shout out about this earlier, guys, but if you've got your calendars there, got an important date you need to write down. The Australian Poker Tour is returning to Gold Coast, Southport Sharks from the 20th to the 28th of May. All of your usual favourite tournaments, the Grind, the Goliath, the Players' Championships, as well as the first flight of the 1250 Vault Tournament, guaranteeing $150,000 for first place.
6 folds.
So it's another 9-day series, a big day of poker.
In the meantime, though, it looks like Cesare is trying to accumulate as many chips as he can.
900,000.
Ripping in the King Queen here. Dell with 10-9. Looks like he does put in the call.
Folds, 9 folds.
To make the call.
So we're off to the races here. King Queen versus 10-9. King Queen the favourite. Cesare looking to find a full double up to 2 million.
Oh, wow.
Queen Jack 6, top pair, open ender for Dale. 5 on the turn, no help, needs a king or an 8. Isn't able to find it. Cesare is going to get back over the 2 million chip mark, just like that.
Strange things happen before the break, Jordan. Right on cue, strange things happen. Mythar33 asking who are the commentators. It's Tom Bauer from Lights Canberra Action Poker and main event champion Jordan Bromley. Jordan, devastating news. Your main event banner has just been taken down from the ceiling.
Well, that's okay. I might just need to try and get a new photo.
I think that seems like the way to do it. If there's 2 banners, it's going to take them twice as long to remove them. Folks, we're going to take a short 10-minute break. We'll come and return with the continued action in 10 minutes' time. Welcome back, viewers. We return live at the Campbelltown Catholic Club for all the action of the Maddocks Mindset APT main event. Final table, still 6 players remain. The spin-up story of the last few levels was Cesare able to rock 1 big blind all the way up into 2 million. These other 5 players pretty devastated not to get the KO and ladder. Truly is anyone's for grab. Sean Zammett still our commanding chip leader. It's Tom Bear in commentary, and I'm joined by Jordan Bromley. Welcome back, Jordan.
How we doing? Hope everybody had a good quick break. Gonna get back to this all the way to the end.
Those payouts being pasted into your Twitch and Facebook chats. Now you'll see first prize taking home $68,000, and as well as that, of course, entry into the Vault tournament, which is worth $1,250 to be held in October at the Bankstown Sports Club. That Vault tourney with a $12.50 price point offers a guaranteed $150,000 for first place.
Huge.
It's going to be a must play.
Will be a huge tournament. I know for a fact there are going to be a lot of people who are going to be keen to play that one. As we see action fold around to Sean here. King 3-0. Blinds are 81.60 now. These guys in the blinds are uber short. Not really much they can be doing. I think Sean should just take this as a jam. Put as much pressure as he possibly can. Decides against it entirely. Would have worked. These guys are both very short. So we see Cesare with 10 bigs, Emil with 7. Sean the only one above that 20 big blind threshold.
And our 2 picks still very much alive. Dale Patterson and Chad Aubach, our picks for the FT and for the champion. We did make those predictions with about 18 players remaining, though, so I was fairly ambitious on our behalf, Jordan. Folks at home, let us know if we're right or wrong. Who are you cheering for? Who is going to be the next main event champion here at the APT?
We see action folding around here to Dale, who's going to find an open with kings. Huge hand. Don't think he's going to be folding this at any point. Sorry, folding the queen 9. Me with jack 5 also probably going to be folding. Jason with queen 9 as well. May consider a defend here.
I think Dale, however, will probably be playing his hand.
Don't think he's going to be folding. Jason's probably just going to double check how much he's got. Does eventually decide on a fold, so Dale going to pick the chips up there. See that Sean is more than double clear of Dale. 8.6 million chips. Almost half of the total chips in play. See these guys are playing for $68,000 up top. And the largest APT main event prize pool in history. See it fold over to Cesare with the 8-6 suited. Oh, sorry, fold to Sean with the 9-4-0. Cesare with the 8-6 suited.
And we talk about Cesare's spin up. Jason Habash, the real spin up, started this final table with 385,000. He now has 1.5 million, and he is all in.
Finds the blind blind jam with Jack 5-0. Gets through Chad, as he's going to pick himself back up a couple of big blinds, up to 11 bigs. Chad now with 13. Had 5 mil not long ago, but unfortunately ran into a few pretty sick spots. The ace queen against Dale's ace king, where he managed to find a fold pre-flop. But Jay in the chat cheering on Chad as well. There's definitely been a lot of support for Chad in the Twitch chat and the Facebook chat. As we march onwards towards a winner here in the main event.
Hey, Weldom joins us. Let's go, Chad Aubach. Thanks for joining
As we
us,
see Cesare finding a jam here with 8s. Definitely a hand that you want to rip in for 10 bigs. folding around to the blinds. Dale was 6-4 suited, not going to be able to do anything on this occasion. Posturing a little bit, and then he's going to throw them in the muck, I would think. Yes, he does. So Cesari still adding chips onto his stack. No longer the shortest. Amir has that crown, and he's even jumped ahead of Jason. Pretty crazy spin for somebody who had literally 90K less than half an hour ago. Definitely a Cinderella story for you Caddyshack fans out there. So we see the two big stacks in the blinds now. These shorties need to be a little bit careful about what they're jamming, as may decide to just find a little bit of a wider call. See Cesari first to act. Decides against an open. Amir, shorty, Queen 8-0. Don't think he'll be opening this one either. Over to Jason. Over to the blinds. Dale finding the call with the 5-4. Sean checking his options with Queen Jack. As we see a very Broadway heavy flop. Good for Sean. Dale was just 5 high. Looks like another paint card on the turn. Pete King. So Sean's got this one all but locked up. Looks like he's going to stab a bet out there on this turn card. Try and get value from any single diamond hands. None of that for Dale, though. Does get it through. He's going to pick up another pot, adding on to his already mountainous chip stack. In case you aren't aware of the chip counts that you're seeing on the table, the orange chips are going to be worth 5,000. The blue chips are worth 25,000. Pinks are 100,000. And those dark grey plaques that you're seeing on the table don't come out very often, but they are 500,000 chips. A lot of power in those discs. Sean has been putting them to good use so far on this final table. 6 players left. Current bust out has got himself locked up 13,000. But they're definitely not thinking about that at this point. They're thinking about the 68K and the vault ticket up for grabs up top. As we see Sean with a hand that he can put a lot of pressure on Dale with if Dale does decide to open. Looks like he will. Dale opening to 325K it looks like. I think Sean is going to find a 3-bet here at least. Something in the vicinity of 900, maybe even a little bit over the 1 million mark. He does just jam, puts Dale in the cage. Nothing you can do here. Too many shorties. Dale needs to literally call only the nuts. Sean realizes that. The power of position in these tournaments. Sean not giving Dale an inch, pushing him below 20 big blinds himself, and over 9 million for the first time this tournament. Over half the chips in play now. Definitely going to be feeling very, very comfortable about how this is going. As we see the 2 table short stacks in the blinds now. Amir with just 7 bigs. Definitely going to be looking to try and find a double sooner rather than later. Going to get over to Dale with Queen Jack. And Sean has another hand that he could definitely apply some pressure with. Ace-3 suited is one of those hands. Giving it a bit of thought here. You can see that it would work. He just needs to pull the trigger. Turn to the dealer and say the magic words. And he announces 800. Nothing that anybody's going to be able to do. This is just the Sean Zammit show. Putting on a bit of a clinic here. Dale fights back. Dale decides on a jam. Queen Jack offsuit, ripping it in. Little under 20 big blinds. And Sean just put it away. Dale shows that he can't get pushed around that easily. Going to take himself back over 4.1. That is a crazy rip. If Sean did have a value hand, that would have been absolutely suicidal. He went for it anyway. He doesn't really have any caution for it. Throwing that to the wind. Everybody else is kind of just letting these guys in seats 8 and 9 do whatever they want, not really being able to fight back. A lot of them have been pretty card dead for the last few orbits now. As we see, it's Jason's turn to pay the big blind. Yep, Giznet's making a very good point. Sean keeps making good hands and hitting flops. Chad deciding against the ace-8. Sean with 8-5 suited. All of these guys have close to 15 bigs. He may just be able to rip it and try and force him to make a mistake. Looks like he just decides to fold. Going to let them have it out. Cesare with Jack-4 suited and 10 bigs. Decides to fold. Amir's not going to be folding though. King-Queen off is going to be jamming. And Jason wakes up with Ace-King. This is an all-in and a call situation. Amir is in rough shape here. He's going to have to find a queen or diamonds, and that's it. Or he will be finishing in 6th place.
He only wants to find 3 diamonds and not 4.
Heading to the flop now.
He finds
Clean
1.
at the moment for the Ace-King. Diamond on the turn, back to a
2.
flush draw. Doesn't manage to find it on the river. However, we will lose Amir Abbas in 6th position. He's going to be taking himself home 13,000 in a cashes. Congratulations on the very deep run in this event. And just like that, we are down to 5 players.
Maybe Giles with a new nickname for Dale. I won't be pushed around, Patterson. I like it. It holds, Toby.
The back of that previous pot, it certainly looks like he might be pushed around, and it looks like he's telling Sean that now.
Don't try it on, buddy.
As we're going to carry on here. Sean with the 7-8 suited, going to find an open. It's like 360k. Chad in the big blind. Definitely think he's going to want to defend the Jack-10. He has a look over to see how short Cesare is, but I think his hand's a little bit too good to be folding. I think it's definitely worthwhile defending. Looks like he tends to agree with me. He puts in the call. Also a flop. Definitely some flops to get both players involved here. That is not one of them, though. Very good flop for the big blind. But given how wide Sean is going to be opening as the chip leader, he can definitely be connected to this board as well. I would think that a C-bet is going to get the job done. Doesn't need to be too big. Could be just 200k. Going a little bit bigger than that, 250k. Chad's going to 350k. Chad's going to very quickly fold. Sean's going to keep adding to that stack. 9.1 million now.
4.1 for Dale, 2.6 for Jason, 1.6 for Cesare, and Chad now a shorter stack, just under with 1.6 and change. Plenty of love for Chad in the virtual rail. Where is it coming from, folks?
Let us know where you're tuning in from. We've had a couple of guys tuning in from all over America and Europe. People tuning in from Belgium, Germany, LA, Denver, New Zealand. Feels like the other side of the world, but Perth. Let us know where you are watching from. As we see, Sean looks like he's going to find an open with the offsuit king, paying homage to his previously fallen competitor. Jason folding the 10-7. Chad with the ace-8. Not much he can really do here, given the shorties on his right. I think he might know that. Isnet's advocating for a jam. It'd be a pretty ballsy one. Don't think he can really do it. From an ICM situation, I think it would be lighting money on fire. He agrees. He decides to let it go.
Beautiful big stack poker by Sean. Love it.
Yeah, he's really getting it done. Not really giving these guys an inch. Keeps adding to that stack. Almost nearing the 10 million chip mark. As the punter hunter reckons that Jason Hamash is the MVP. Certainly still alive in this one. He's been battling. See a brief pause in the stream, guys. We'll aim to get that one fixed for you as soon as we can. See the payouts on screen there. And Jason with a hand that he's going to be ripping in, or opening at least. Looks like the ace-jack suited is going to find an open. He's going to get through Chad and Dale. Round to the chip leader. Sean decides not to defend the queen-3 suited. He's going to let Jason have this one as he becomes our third place chip stack at the moment. And Chad has fallen to be the shortest chip stack. After having 5 million chips not long ago, he is now the table shorty. As Win in the chat thinks this is a Poker Palace battle. Shout out to Mr. Walford in the chat. Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you here. Thanks to all of you guys for tuning in over the last few days. It's been a pleasure being able to commentate for you.
Win fam letting us know that it's a Poker Palace battle, and it really is. It's a bit of a Poker Palace battle on the felt right now. Chad looking for chips, looking for a spot, and he's going to move all in here now with the King 10-0.
And in it goes.
Offsuit Kings have been the hand of the tournament. Is it going to be enough? It's enough for an uncontested pot this time round.
Fam cheering for Dale. There's a lot of support for Dale, Chad, Sean. Actually, all of these guys have a lot of support in the chat. Definitely all of the fan favorites here. As now Jason going to take the big blind. Chad the shorty is going to be happy to have been able to chip up there. He is going to be in the blind next hand. Definitely going to be thinking about that one. As we see, it looks like Chad is weighing his options, decides against an open. Dale, though, queens, definitely going to be opening this one. Looks like he has 375k. Fold from Sean. Cesare with king queen. 7 big blinds. Probably going to want to run this.
Yeah, this is chips to go in with.
It looks like he is. He's going to be in rough shape against the queens of Dale. Bit of a setup here. He's going to see the bad news. He has won some like this before, though. We could be bringing us down to 4 here. These queens hold. Cesare, just 3 outs or heart. No help so far. Does have a backdoor flush draw, though. Repeat 5. Only 3 outs for Cesare, or we will lose him. And that is paint, but not a king. So he did battle his way through the final 7. But Cesare will be finishing in 5th place for $17,425. Considering some of the spots he had over the course of this final table, it is a fantastic result for him. He had half a big blind at one point, and he managed to find another 2 pay jumps. Definitely a fantastic effort. And then there were 4. Dale and Sean definitely the ones to beat right now. They both have most of the chips.
Some big action just on the outlying table, Jordan. I'll be right back.
Sounds good. So we're going to continue on here, 4-handed, guys. Things definitely starting to heat up. Sydney champ shouting out Dale. It was a nice one. Jason, ace queen, Sean with king 5-0. Sean finds a raise. Jason piles. And this is going to get through. I don't think Sean is going to be putting any calls in here. Jason pretty stoked to look at that hand. You can see that Chad has just 9 big blinds. Jason and Dale are feeling pretty comfortable, but nowhere near as comfortable as Sean, who's got 8.8 million chips, over 50 bigs. As we can see, the player that finishes in 4th position is going to take home $23,000. Only gets larger from there. 3rd is going to grab 32, 2nd 47, and 1st place will receive $68,000 along with a $1,250 ticket into the vault, which will have $150,000 for 1st place, as well as an entry into the coveted Tournament of Champions.
Sydney champ lets us know that nice one, Dale. He deserves to win this. He's an absolute gentleman. He is indeed, Jordan, one of the gentlemen of poker.
See Chad here with ace 10-0, going to be ripping it in for his 7 big blinds, or 10 big blinds. Sean's a little bit annoyed by it, but I don't think he's going to be calling here. Hand just doesn't do well enough versus the hands that he is going to be jamming. I think he realizes that. He's just posturizing a little bit. Giving it some... Wow, he calls? Throws in the 10 bigs. 970 ace 10. It is basically going to be a flip. Chad is ahead for now, 60% favorite. Chad usually has been winning his all-in so far, but Sean does have all of the chips and is not going to let it have it that easily. Off to a flop we go. We see King 9-4 with 2 spades. Lots more outs now for Sean. 5 on the turn, no help. Does give him a 6 though. 15 outs. And that is one of them. We lose Chad in 4th. Sean managing to find a flush on the river.
We did say Chad had nothing to talk about all day. He's finally got something to talk about.
No doubt his mates are going to be hearing about that one. And just like that, guys, we are down to our final 3. Chad collecting $23,000 for his efforts here. We were with him for most of the feature table today. He played some very good poker, very aggressive poker. Did not work out for him in the end, though, as Sean finds the KO and finds himself back over 9 million chips. It looks like these guys are going to quickly look up at the clock, potentially pause things, have a little bit of a chat regarding maybe a deal being made. If we find out any specifics about this, we will let you guys know what is going on. For now, I'm going to pass over to Tom.
We are going to take a short break while these players do some ICM counting, Jordan. We return in a few moments' time. Don't go anywhere, viewers. No chop has been agreed to just yet. We're going to look at the numbers. We'll come back and let you know if they make a decision. Regardless, they will be leaving money up top to play down to a winner. So there will be playability left as we navigate down to a winner here at Campbelltown Catholic Club for the Maddocks Mindset main event. We're still on break, players, as we're still discussing that deal. We shouldn't be too far away. Bit of argy-bargy with the negotiations. We'll give you some updates as we return. A few more minutes away from coming back to our final table.
9 checks. Just need you to fan both cards on the sensor, please.
Welcome back, guys. We're going to continue on here, and after some tough negotiations, from what I understand, there was no deal made.
8 bets.
So these guys are going to carry on playing, as it looks like we're straight into a pretty crazy spot here. Dale flopping trips, Sean with top pair. Also, just request you guys in the live Facebook feed. I understand you want to have updates as soon as possible, but try not to spoil it for the other viewers. We are trying to kind of keep it as clean as possible in the chat for that reason. As we see a 6 on the turn. Oh, that is a brutal turn card for Dale. Sean is going to continue his rampage on this FT. Crazy turn card.
9 bets, 275,000.
See how Sean decides to proceed. It looks like he's going to bet small. Roughly 1/3 here.
Eight calls. Heads up.
Call from Dale. 1.4 million in the middle. 5 completes a couple of straights out there, but that's about it. Yeah, you're right. A very, very rough turn card. Sean can put quite a lot of pressure here on Dale, given that Jason is shorter than both of them. So he's probably going to do so. Looks like he announces a large bet and gets snapped. Oh wow, it was 1.5 mil. That changes the tides massively, pushing Dale below 20 big blinds. Sean's got 13 million. He's got almost 3/4 of the chips in play. That is a huge pot.
Set me up. Full house against full house.
Poker Gods can be cruel, Shifty. Thanks for tuning in. Good to see your name back in the Twitch chat.
Big blind answer.
How much?
So you can see that Sean has an overwhelming chip lead. He's got 2 times both of the other players' chip stack combined. Definitely the favorite to win this one. It's going to take some pretty crazy shenanigans for him not to take this one down after there was a discussion on the plate, and there will be no deal in this at all. So you guys can play it down.
Eight folds.
See Sean here with 10-9. Probably going to keep applying the pressure.
Nine calls, option.
No, he decides against it. Just going to find a limp blind v blind. Check from Jason. Off to a flop
check.
we go. King Jack 3 board. Much better for Sean's range given he limped from the small blind. As you can see, he's starting to build up on those brown chips down there, those 500k. He's going to bet. I think it's going to be met with a very quick fold though.
5 folds.
Thanks for putting me in agony. You just
Well, after all that negotiation,
let me have some hope there for nothing.
Jason and Bash came back from the break. They had agreed to leave 7,000 up top based on the ICM. He wanted more. He wanted 5,000 off each player, so they're actually playing for more up top. Came to the final table with 385,000. Wants most of the money left in play to play for. Still plenty of confidence. Eventually no deal. We return to play for the prize pools as advertised.
Nine raised, 320. Five calls. 8 folds. Heads up.
It's like Sean going to open the Jack 9. Jason going to call from the small blind with Queen 10-0, not really giving any respect to the chip leader. And it looks like he is going to outflop Sean on this occasion, but Sean does have a gut shot. A Queen would be disastrous for Jason, giving him 2 pair.
Nine
It's like Sean's going to just check it back here, see a turn card. which is a brick. Deuce on the turn. Doesn't change anything given how this hand has played out so far. Jason's still with the lead and 18 big blinds in his stack. Looks like he's going to fire out a pretty chunky bet of half pot, roughly 495k. Sean now facing that bet. Wondering the best way to proceed. Looks like he is going to get out of the way, and Jason's going to pick up a nice pot there, taking himself back over the 20 big blind mark.
It's Queen 10, mate.
And carry on here. Jason now on the button. Double checks his cards before folding. Dale on the small, the shortest of the three players now.
8 folds.
Looks like he's just going to surrender it to Sean.
Yeah.
13 million once again. These guys carry on with no deal made, still 68k up top. 47,000 for second and 32,000 for third. Most of the money in this tournament is still remaining with these three players left, as we see Dale with fives. May consider just running this for 15 bigs or an open potentially. Looks like he's reaching for chips to raise instead of just jam. Counting them out, placing them out there. Looks like 375k. All in. Was all in the end. Nothing that the other players will be able to do though. Jason with 10-4 offsuit is not going to be able to contend with that. Dale's going to pick it up. As we see that Sean has been raising pre-flop the most of all the players at the table, putting that chip stack to good use.
You've been doing it all night anyway, so why would you change?
No, I haven't opened with. Only when I had like 12 or 13 bigs or whatever it was. I just had a pair then.
Action on Sean on the button. King do so. Jason does have 10s though, so
Raise,
Sean's not going to be able to get this one through. Raises to 320. Jason definitely going to be increasing the price here though. Looks like he's got 20 big blinds in his stack. Looks like he's going to find 3-bet, just throwing chips out there relatively sloppily. Just to be to 1.1 mil. Nothing that Sean's going to be able to do here. He is just going to have to fold.
9 folds.
Gives him the nod. Jason collects the chips, shows him 10s.
You can.
See that Jason is starting a bit of a rally here. 3.9 million now. He was very short earlier. Starting to make a bit of a comeback.
That was for the rail, that one. Cheers, bro. I appreciate it. Thank you, mate. Cheers, bro. I appreciate it.
Five folds.
So we see Dale with 10-9 suited and Sean with ace-6. Dale decided to run this for 15 bigs. It would get called. like he's instead canting out raising chips.
420.
It's in 320,000. 420,000, sorry. 2.5x. Sean with ace-6 suited may just decide to jam it on him here, put the pressure on. Getting a look at his chip count. Started with 15 big blinds. Having a look at the tournament clock.
Nine raise all in.
Does just jam. Dale now. Put in the blender. 10-9 suited, 15 big blinds. It would be a flip if he decided to put the call in, but he can't be knowing that. Just having a look at Jason's stack first, just to see exactly where he's at. He'll find out that he is the clear shortest. Might be considering gambling this to try and spin a stack up.
Same hand. Fight it from 60-40 and I'll win that. Fucking game on.
Thinking this one through.
8 folds.
Decides to let it go.
What was it?
A6 of hearts.
Sean's gonna keep adding on to that 13 million chip stack.
160, 160.
This three-handed battle to crown the champion of the Maddocks Mindset main event, the APT series here in Campbelltown.
Still plenty of playability left, Jordan. Like, Sean has absolute mountains. One double through him, and these guys are back in the game. And of course, now it's a ladder between the two shortest as to either getting that double through Sean and avoiding the other one.
8 folds.
Sean, of course, has the ability to take them both out in the one hand. The ability and technical ability to do so as well.
Story's gonna
Definitely knows
love
how
to do
put
that.
pressure on.
See him here with the 9-3 offsuit, having a look at how many chips Jason has.
3.5, 3.6 left, so about 3.8.
Nine raise, 400,000.
Looks like he is going to raise to 400, and Jason with King 4-0, probably not much he can really do here.
Five folds.
Does just fold. Sean back on the button, raising into both of these guys.
Nine raise, 320,000. Five folds.
4 deuce, bro. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do?
Gonna raise the ace-10. Not gonna be any defending done by the other guys though. Nothing that can really help at all there.
Now on the short side, 11 big blinds, 1.9 billion. Jason has snuck away up to 3.5. Sean with absolutely piles.
Definitely in a commanding position here.
10, 100, 200 with a 200 big blind ante.
See Jason looking like he's gonna find a fold again.
Five folds.
Back down to the blinds. Dale and Sean. Devil Ace King definitely going to be putting this one in the middle. Sean with Queen Jack. Be interesting to see if Sean implements a similar strategy to what he did before when Dale raised. He does elect just to jam the Queen Jack. Certainly a strategy that he might look to do over the raise. He's going to get a double check at the stack once again. I think he may just do the same thing. Check the tournament clock. Queen Jack is probably good enough to put the pressure on. Decides to just call. Playing it safe in position. May have seen a little bit of a different reaction from Dale when he asked to see his chip stack. See a flop here.
2-8 bets all in.
Deuce 2-6. No help for either player.
Josh.
I think that was Dale going all in blind.
Yeah, I just shoved
Saw those chips table before the cards flip.
Certainly an interesting scenario. Not one that Sean would have been anticipating. But Dale does look very, very confident with the way he's throwing his chips in here. He doesn't really look stressed about it at all.
This ups the ace king and happy to scoop in the pot.
Shows him why he wasn't too stressed about it.
Blinds are up, gentlemen. Blinds are 100, 200, 200 big blind ante. You have a new dealer.
Might be stupid, but I have a pussy at least.
Good luck, guys.
Thanks, Taylor.
Thank you, mate.
Looks like we're going to have a quick changeover of dealers here. Princess going to don the microphone. Taylor and Princess doing a fantastic job as always. Dealing this final table here at the Australian Poker Tour main event.
Good luck, players.
Both phenomenal dealers. Never once making a mistake.
First start.
As you see action on Dale here. Doesn't decide to do anything with the 6-5 offsuit. Sean with 8-4. Probably wants to keep putting the pressure on Jason, but doesn't really have as good a hand to do it with this time. Looks like he will find a raise. Jason is going to find a defend here with the Jack-9. He liked folding his blinds. Learned from him so far, but it is quite a sizable amount. 650k, 3.25 bigs. Jack-9 may just be a little bit too wide. Get through, big sigh.
Not so big. First time as well.
He's unhappy about it. Plenty of speech play from him though.
Puts him in the mark. Sean nodding his head.
Dance puppets dance. That's basically what Sean's thinking to himself.
You calling?
Got these two puppets and I've got them tied up with all of the chips on the table. Putting him to use and making him do everything that he wants.
Banging it like. You've been 2xing the whole night. I guess the blinds are really good.
So we see it continuing. Sean now on the button. Wonder same hand once more for him. 8-4.
9-4.
Decides to fold on this occasion. As I'm just going to duck out for one moment. I'll leave you with Tom for just a second.
5 calls.
Bash makes the call. Dale with the ace-6. It's going to be enough. He will move all in.
5 folds.
And Jason not going to defend.
Cheers. Better than the spade, that's for
joining
sure.
us for the Catholic card games.
Better than the spade, that's for sure.
Thank you so much for joining us, Travis. Always a pleasure to have you in the booth.
Is that 1-5?
All in.
All in. 6-5, all in.
Not this time for Dale.
8 folds, 9 folds.
And Sean's going to get rid of it as well. The jam, ace 10-0 for Jason, will get the job done.
A bit too much to jam there, but
Chips moving around. You have to remember, when we started our final table, Jason Abash only had 385,000. He spun that up to 3.4 million and laddered his way all the way into at least third place. You are right, Travis D. Sean does very much indeed have a killer stack.
Certainly had a pretty ridiculous spin up as well.
Jamie Leonardic joins us in Facebook chat. Always a pleasure to see you, Jamie.
Eight race, 450,000. 450.
See, it looks like Dale's going to come in with an open. Jack 8 suited. Sean, though, with ace 5, probably going to be putting a bit of pressure on here.
Jason behind them both with sixes.
Wouldn't be surprised to see him put a jam in. Both in the cage. Looks like that's what he does. Sixes, though, for Jason. Given that Dale is shorter, there's nothing he can do. He just has to fold, and Sean's going to get over 14 million now. Really clinical, closing this one out. It's looking like we may even end up with a 10-1 chip advantage, similar to what we had in the grind just yesterday between Mark and Barry.
McRae's put so succinctly in the Twitch chat, he's been dominating. The poker gods have definitely helped him as well.
oh no, if it came to me,
Boat v boat as we returned from the half-an-hour deal negotiations certainly went to the favour of Sean.
100, sorry.
You see Jason with queen 6. Gonna find a call blumpy blind. Dale with the 7 deuce is gonna check it, so we're gonna see a flop here.
8 checks.
See a flop that interacts with both of them a little bit. Got Jason still ahead with queen high, but Dale has picked up a gut shot. Any 3 would give him a straight, but he doesn't think too much about it. Decides against appeal. Jason's going to pick that one up. Ray's thinking that he doesn't think there would have been a deal. He wouldn't have taken a deal in Sean's spot either. It's a very good point. Sean was in a pretty commanding position starting off this 3-hander, and he's only extended it. Basically coolering Dale the very first hand. Dale flopping trips, Sean turning a boat. They really carried on from there. Those situations where they've really been able to press back against him, so...
Sean, you're in the hand, bro.
Dale now with ace-5 suited, jamming from the small blind. 9 bigs. I think king 6 suited, maybe a call here from Sean. Pretty close.
He knows it too. Look at the...
Yeah. Doesn't really hinder his stack at all. I think he may end up finding this one.
Rose asked if Sean started the final table as chip leader. He did start with 6.5 million, I believe. He was very much the chip leader.
Agonizing over this one for quite a bit. Gets a clarification on the count. Decides to fold. Likes to let Dale just keep that short stack for a little bit longer, 2.1 million. Also keeps Jason in the cage as well because he can't really do anything, given that Dale is shorter than him. Sean just going to be able to kind of keep applying the pressure. So either way, it's not the worst outcome for Sean. See Sean. Dale with the queen unsuited. Gonna find the jam, and Jason, king queen. I think he will be calling this one. Does put in the call. Queen 9 versus king queen. We could be about to be going heads up here, guys. To fade hearts or a 9, and we will be heads up for the trophy. Dale versus Jason, both of the shorties colliding here. As the flop has 2 aces and an 8, no help for Dale. Another ace on the turn. More chop outs. That is not one of them. So Jason will eliminate Dale. Dale will bust in 3rd position, collecting $32,000 for his troubles. A bit of a swingy final table for him, but able to get all the way to 3rd. And now we are finally heads up.
Ron and Jason, happy to be here. Now, viewers, we are going to take a very short break while these two renegotiate an ICM. We put the thumb screws to them. 5 minutes maximum for having this discussion. Cannot leave the floor. They figure it out and they get back to the game. So we will either have a deal or no deal. We return in just a few moments' time.
We can lock and play. Let's lock and play. Yeah, let's do it.
TD.
Get the man a beer.
Alright. Now, you're on small blind. Big blind, Sean.
What is it?
Auntie's still on run. Yep, cool. Correct. Alright, good luck.
Thank you, dear.
First act. Seat 5. Seat 1. Race.
I'll let you know now.
450.
Yeah, that's a figure.
Yep.
Five point 5.62. 5.62. Excuse me. 5.62. Excuse me.
Snap it off, Brian.
Nine calls.
My head was on like the roof, turning around, being closed, and then
First off, 9 checks.
started.
5 bets, 500,000. Nine calls. Nine checks. Five bets, 1.1 million.
And he's not even feel my hands. I've got the fucking moisturised hands.
Nine calls. Nine checks. 5 checks. 10 fools.
Full free?
It's a dirty turn, man. It ruined me. I had 7, 8 because of clubs. I flopped the open ender.
Blinds, please.
No, sir. So I had to take one leg out.
Big blind, please.
Big blind.
I never know how lucky you are.
Nine all in, 5 folds.
Hi, Jace. You letting them cripple you like that?
That's alright.
Come on, Cassie.
It's alright.
Big blind, Sean, please.
I've been crippled all day, cousin. I'm here.
You weren't crippled fucking at one stage. Very crippled, bro.
Fucking 385 kg. Unbelievable.
I'm sure stack up on a
Unbelievable.
back up. Your cards will go and start coming.
Yeah, that's right.
When they come, let's have a look, bro.
That's right. All in.
5 all in. 9 9 folds.
King at least 3 meter trophy. I don't even know what cupboard you're gonna put that trophy in. It's a fucking 20 kilos, and what cupboard is gonna put it in? Where's the bracelet? Is there no bracelet? There's a bracelet. No. Hey, seriously, boys, whoever wins that trophy, where are you gonna put it? What cupboard? It's heavier than a 50 kilo dumbbell.
Yeah, 9 folds.
All in.
5 all in, 9 folds.
The dealer must be
First up.
all in.
5 all in, 9 folds.
You're gonna flick me off in one of these, mate. But I've had an ace. I know what I'm calling. Yeah, I know. I'm doing it now.
9 raised, 400. 5 folds. Five checks. 9 bets, 300. 5 folds.
Take the sunnies off, bro. It's still sunny. All the prescription glasses.
5 bets, 575.
What'd you say? Nah, don't say that. Nah, don't say that shit, bro.
9 folds.
You want money? Play the banky. Drink someone sit next to you. Drink someone. Let him put it in the banky. Hey, do I want more Rolexes? Come, I'll give you one. You want to borrow it? You want to borrow it?
First up. 5 folds. 9 checks. Nine checks. 5 bets, 300. Nine folds.
But what about the band? Also, it's
50. 5 calls. First stop. 5 checks.
I bought them off someone, bro. I bought 2 of them like that. I bought a
9 bets, 500,000. Five, raise 2 million. 9 folds.
For free.
Yeah. King 7.
Yeah, bro. I got another normal one.
Oh, nice. Woo! Woohoo! Do I get one? There's no way.
5.
What a chip, bro. Haven't had this all day.
I've got 500 left.
No, man. The last one you get. No. If I got them on, I'll put it in.
Yeah, I lose all in, don't I?
Oh no!
9 folds.
The snowman.
Oh, Tom. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Didn't realise that we had the wrong button clicked.
You're looking, you're
Very
happy you made a
volatile
deal
style
out
of
it,
game. Heads up, anything can happen. We can see that Jason has already doubled his stack.
You're still going to get more than me if I get the phone. What a lick.
Definitely playing an unorthodox style so far, this heads up.
5 calls.
As we see Sean with 10s and Jason with ace queen. This could be it, guys. Both of these hands definitely willing to put all the chips in pre. And in this heads up style, it's definitely what probably will end up happening. Raise to 700k from Sean. Jason announces jam, snap, we're all in.
9 calls.
This is it, guys. Everything that's on the line here. Jason will take the chip lead if he's able to find the hold here. Oh, sorry, if he's able to find an ace or a queen here. And Sean will be declared the champion if he's able to hold. Off for the flop we go. Jack 9, no help for Jason. 6 outs twice here, or we will have our champion. Brick on the turn. Only an ace or a queen on the river. And it's a 5. We have our champion. Sean Zammit will collect the trophy of the largest Australian Poker Tour main event in history.
A new champion arrives.
I didn't get it for long, you got it back.
He put on an absolute clinic on this final table. Didn't really give anybody an inch the entire way. Absolutely ruthless when it came to putting people in the cage. He also made some absolutely ridiculous folds, folding aces in a spot where his opponent flopped top 2 against him. Also, just want to make a shout out. Snap folded, didn't even think about it. Also, just want to make a shout out to our second place finisher. Jason played an amazing final table. He came to the final table with 385k, just 4 big blinds, and was able to spin it all the way up to a second place finish, which included a deal that was made to give him some more chips in that scenario. So definitely commendable for his result. But all in all, these guys played fantastic poker. Tom?
Viewers, on behalf of all of us here, of course, at LCA Poker, 2 things I'd like to say. A huge thank you to Mr. Jordan Bromley back in the booth. I'm sure you have all enjoyed the privilege of Bromley back. Hashtag bring back Bromley. That's what we'd love to see from you over the next few days. Also, of course, thank you for joining us. We've had the distinct privilege of broadcasting here from the Australian Poker Tour. If you haven't already, Facebook APT live reporting. Make sure you like and follow their next schedule series will be posted there. And of course, find us at Twitch, twitch.tv/LCA Poker. Jordan, it's been an absolute blast. Thank you for joining me again. Viewers, we'll see you as we do it all again next time.
Well done, Kate.